Chapter 541. The middle-aged man surnamed Rong is in his 40s. His name is Rongxiha. As for the mysterious Shuangmu Advanced Human Body Limit Research Institute, when the Earth was incorporated into the Alpha Alliance, Lin's pharmaceutical factory had been committed to the study of ancient prescriptions of Wuxia, and led the research of simplifying prescriptions of elixirs in the world of cultivation to serve ordinary people. The Alpha Alliance was interested in the secrets of cultivators, so they were more determined to get Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had successful technical experience. After Tess moved into Lin's pharmaceutical factory, she made this pharmaceutical group from the center of Chuan province the strongest in the world. The Alpha Alliance also wanted something, so Lin's pharmaceutical factory was particularly eye-catching. According to Tess's arrangement, the descendants of the Rong family who stayed on the Earth took advantage of the time when the Alpha Alliance was hit hard by the shelter of gods. Before the Alpha Alliance could do anything else, they moved Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which was once prosperous, all over the world. All prescriptions, research materials, refining equipment, production lines and other key things were destroyed. The real irreplaceable core of Lin's pharmaceutical factory was installed in the minds of the descendants of the Rong family. They followed the plan arranged by Tess and walked step by step safely. After a few years, the Alpha Alliance began to sell gene enhancement fluid to the Earth Federation. At that time, the descendants of the Rong family had already set up a small laboratory on a remote member star of the Alliance with the wealth and technology accumulated by Lin's pharmaceutical factory. They mainly studied the causes of restlessness in mutant monsters after the great changes of the Earth's environment. They tried to solve the internal problems of Earthlings fundamentally. Researchers led by the descendants of the Rong family found that there was a major defect in gene enhancement fluid. Although people could gain strength temporarily, compared with the ancient martial arts of Wuxia, which had been passed down for many years to develop human potential through both internal and external cultivation, Earthlings who had been injected with gene enhancement fluid had lost the opportunity to learn how to develop their potential correctly. They even speculate that the cultivation civilization that the Alpha Alliance longs for but also avoids may really disappear from the Earth after this battle under both carrot and stick. Since gene enhancement fluid could make people unable to practice ancient martial arts, cultivation, which had higher requirements on the human body, was obviously strangled. This plan was too insidious, including the invasion of the Alpha Alliance. It was more like someone had made a sophisticated plan to specifically target the cultivation civilization on the Earth. If there was no way to master the so-called secret of longevity, then destroy it. Lin Luoran felt that this was very much like the work of the fake scientists. Use was the first choice. If they couldn't use it, they wouldn't let others use the weapons that could threaten scientific and technological civilization. When the fake scientists used the Star Atlas to transmit the message in the Kalahari Desert, Lin Luoran thought that she might have intended to send it back to her home planet. However, she had stayed on the Earth for too long. Interstellar giants like the Alpha Alliance obviously have the technology to intercept a beam of unknown signal waves in the universe. Therefore, decades later, it was not the power of the fake scientist's home planet that attacked the Earth, but the Alpha Alliance, which was the nearest star territory to the Earth. The descendants of the Rong family had deciphered the secrets of the gene-strengthening fluid, and felt that they could no longer sit around and wait for death. They changed their name to the Human Body Limits Research Institute, and appeared in public again. They did not use the well-known prescription of Lin's in the past. They only improved the gene enhancement fluid, and submitted the improved gene enhancement fluid, with a higher success rate to the Alpha Federation for testing. Then the institute was recognized. The people who showed up were all locals of the member star where the descendants of the Rong family went. A small institute was recognized because of a breakthrough in research. It was not worthy of the Alpha Alliance's careful investigation. The institute was committed to adding a mild effect to the gene enhancement fluid, which slowed down the speed of gene enhancement and made it safer. At the same time, it would not exhaust the potential of the human body and make the genes of the Earthlings limited by drugs. Almost all the best gene enhancement fluid produced by the institute was sold to the Earth Federation. In the guise of charity, they supported low-level member stars. Other member stars and interstellar agencies also did this kind of good deeds. However, they mainly dumped inferior products, while Shuangmu bought the best products at a very low price. Every tube of gene enhancement fluid sold by Shuangmu had a strict number in order to sell it at a fixed price, so that the Alpha Alliance would not find out the secret. Because of its low price, it occupied the market of the Earth Federation, which made the Alpha Alliance aware of it. The Institute had to temporarily cut off the channel, and could no longer sell gene enhancement fluid to the Earth in a short time. It began to keep a low profile, until they got in touch with Mu Tiannan. At that time, Mu Tiannan just had the idea of building a bloodline club. The Rong family had also heard of this Mu family who stayed on the Earth, and refused to leave. However, the situation was too chaotic when the Alliance incorporated the Earth. The two parties had no chance to communicate with each other. They wandered among the stars and finally Mu Tiannan found them. At that time, Mu Tiannan had just controlled an Alliance politician. Through him, he erased the doubts of the Alpha Alliance. The Institute escaped and Mu Tiannan also got strong support. In addition to mind control, what Mu Tiannan could give to the members was to extend their lifespan, which was really good stuff. The club developed very smoothly. The old bat wanted Mu Tiannan to help it collect the 4 jade plates that were lost in the war. Naturally, it hoped that Mu Tiannan's power would be as strong as possible. Therefore it watched him get involved with the Lin clique, which it hated so much. Roddick of the bloodline was very dissatisfied. But Mu Tiannan and the old bat ignored him tacitly. After steady development, Shuangmu not only entered the upper class of the Alpha Alliance, but also penetrated into other alliances. After gaining a firm foothold, the descendants of the Rong family could finally take out all kinds of precious prescriptions that had been covered in dust in the past. Shuangmu and the club complemented each other. This time, the two alliances formed an alliance to deal with the Alpha Alliance. Mu Tiannan's club instigated the war as a go-between. Shuangmu even used a precious prescription as bait to make the two alliances believe that the Alpha Alliance really mastered the so-called secret of longevity and tried to monopolize it. After all, the Shuangmu Research Institute was also a semi-official certified institution. The two alliances didn't expect that its predecessor was a pharmaceutical group on the Earth of the indigenous planet, where they coveted the secret of longevity. The Alpha Alliance also didn't expect that the secret that had been tightly covered these years would be exposed under its nose. Before Mu Tiannan and Lin Luoran confessed, Rong Shiha, the current head of the Rong family, was running around in other stars to implement Mu Tiannan's so-called alliance plan. Of course, he knew that Lin Luoran, whom the Rong family had been waiting for several generations, was back. And she came back in an extremely strong manner. Rong Shiha still remembered the insistence of his ancestors for a lifetime. The Rong family was guarding the property of the Lin family. Now that the master of the Lin family was back, he naturally wanted to integrate all the resources and hand them over to Lin Luoran in person. For several reasons, Rong Shiha didn't rush back to Dongting until he received the message from Mu Tiannan. As soon as he made it clear, he asked Lin Luoran to hand over the Shuangmu Research Institute. Lin Luoran couldn't help laughing and asked him what she wanted to do with the institute now. Rong Shiha, a middle-aged man, was a little embarrassed. He thought of Lin Luoran's current identity, and also felt that he would be split in half by a large number of believers if he asked, Mortal Heart Fairy, to manage these trivial things. Lin's pharmaceutical factory was founded because Lin Luoran wanted to bring the benefits of cultivation to ordinary people. She wanted to be a good person when it was in decline and do good things when it was in power. Lin Luoran could guarantee that Lin's pharmaceutical factory didn't make any money from Wuxia people. Now the Rong family had been running for so many years, and they had put in much more effort than the Lin family at the beginning. In the hands of the Rong family, the institute still adhered to the original idea of benefiting the country and the people. Lin Luoran felt that it made no difference whether she took back the ownership or not. How could she have the energy to take care of such a big institution now? Lin Luoran was very happy to see the descendants of her old friends again. As a matter of fact, she just helped the little girl named Tess once on the ice field. How could Tess repay her with all her heart? Lin Luoran refused to take over the institute. Rong Shiha figured it out and no longer insisted. Anyway, he was just a manager and the owner was Lin Luoran. After taking care of it for so many years, the Rong family was both careful and worried about the development of the institute. They were afraid that Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had been passed down for hundreds of years, would be destroyed in their hands. Now the owner was here, and they also had a backbone. They were not as restrained as before when they managed the institute. Lin Luoran knew that Rong Shiha was extremely busy, so she asked him to stay for dinner. In addition to Rong Shiha, there were Lin Luoran, the siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya Colin, Hu Ji Liao Bai Qingxue and Mu Tiannan. There was a gathering vitality cultivator, the Fox King of the Nine-Tailed Mountains, the undead Liao, and Mu Tiannan, the big monster. Rong Shiha was trembling during the meal, and he was in a cold sweat. However, this meal was the most crowded one in the past 2 months. Although the people here were tired, they were extremely satisfied with a warm dinner. Even Bai Qingxue had a faint smile from beginning to end. The 4 young people who always felt that she was very cold, and didn't dare to get too close to her, because of her previous identity, felt that the distance between them was reduced a lot. The simple-minded Han Weiya even gave a hairy crab to Bai Qingxue, which made the latter stunned. In the past, cultivators did not pay attention to the desire for food. When their personal ability was not high enough, they would replace it with fasting bolus. When their personal ability was high, they mostly relied on Reiki to survive. At most, they tasted spirit fruits and drank some spirit tea. If they were like Lin Luoran and her apprentices who ate fish and vegetables every day, even their masters would think that this cultivator was hopeless and couldn't get rid of the desire for the world of mortals. Therefore, including the hundreds of years before Bai Qingxue became a remnant soul, and was trapped in the abyss, it was rare for her to remember such a warm scene of a group of people sitting down to eat and drink. To put it bluntly, she even forgot what the food tasted like. After being reborn, as a female cultivator in the middle period of training qi, and without fasting bolus, Bai Qingxue prepared herself for a long time before she began to eat. Unexpectedly, every dish on the table was not harmful to cultivators because the ingredients were from Lin Luoran's space. Long-term consumption was good for her current personal ability. Bai Qingxue finally opened her mind. However, Han Weiya's behavior of taking food. She only remembered that she had such experience when she lived with her family in a small mountain village before she became a disciple of the school. Bai Qingxue is stunned. It seems that she doesn't reject this kind of behavior that arouses her long-ago memory. Thinking of this, Bai Qingxue's look softened. Finally, she showed the relaxation that was in line with her appearance. She was no longer the fairy, who always had a sense of distance and the soul of gathering vitality inside. Perceiving the change of Bai Qingxue, everyone pays high respect to the simple-minded Han Weiya. The simple-minded Han Weiya is ignorant and smiles back at everyone. Her cheeks are stuffed with vegetables, which makes her look silly. Even Lin Luoran feels that a group of black crows are flying over her head at this moment, cackling and giggling. After dinner, Rong Shiha is sent away. The lively Ma's villa is quiet again. Young people are now responsible for their own fields. It is not easy for them to go home and gather together. Mu Tiannan is busy during the day and has to rush back to the Rose Hotel to deal with many trivial things in the evening. He promised Black Tortoise that he would protect Lin Luoran for 100 years. Of course, he hopes that she can be more relaxed. Only when he deals with all threats as much as possible can this sentence not be empty talk. Rong Shiha is gone, and so are the young people. Liao drags Hu Ji away in the name of digestion. Lin Luoran doesn't know if it is her illusion, but she feels that this man and this fox have been acting suspiciously recently. They are nervous all day long. Lin Luoran doesn't know what they are discussing. Only Lin Luoran and Bai Qingxue are left in the yard. This place is very close to Dongting Lake. It is full of water vapor and the air is moist. The small yard is filled with the fragrance of various fruits and vegetables. Smelling it for a long time makes people feel refreshed. In this quiet night and such a warm environment, Lin Luoran always has an illusion that she is still living in the small yard of Lin's family before the new era. It seems that in a blink of an eye, a teenager with a school bag will enter the door first. His friend's eyes are covered by long bangs, and his back is straight. He is dragged here by the teenager for dinner. Occasionally, The male master of the family will come back with a few freshly caught fish. The hostess's signature fish slices will inevitably appear in the kitchen that night. At that time, a certain peach-eyed fox was still a greedy and picky little fox. Gold Hawk often caught snakes, which attracted the fat foodie of the Chui family. After all, it has been a long time. Lin Luoran is a little dazed. You really can't see it? Whose idea is it? Bai Qingxue twists a piece of cake mixed with fresh osmanthus flowers and swallows it with tea. She only feels that it is delicious and very tempting. She sighs in her heart. If she also has a portable cave with abundant reiki like Lin Luoran which can shorten the planting time, she is afraid that she will evolve into a foodie sooner or later. Hearing Bai Qingxue's seemingly casual question, Lin Luoran is stunned for a while and then smiles bitterly. I am not blind. He is so dedicated. I am afraid that if I ask him, he will try his best to pick the stars and catch the moon for me. It is a lie to say that I am not touched. In the current situation, how can we talk about love? Bai Qingxue snorts. Love is also love. Don't look down on it. Lin Luoran is in a cold sweat. Who taught the old-fashioned Bai Qingxue to speak in such a proud tone? However, she can also understand Bai Qingxue's thoughts. The former White Fairy and Mr. Wuxia have been chasing each other for so many years. Bai Qingxue's bitter pursuit at this time has no result. Lin Luoran is happy to see that all the lovers in the world are together. It can be a comfort. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran is also a little confused. Fairy. Haha, I called you wrong again. Sister Bai, although I envy you and Mr. Wuxia for your sincerity for each other, as you said, it will be a disaster if I can't pass the love. How dare I try it easily? What she doesn't say is that if she doesn't figure out her origin, how can she respond to other people's love? If she waited until the day she fell in love and found out that she was really just a chess piece with an incomplete personality, or a substitute for someone else, how could her so-called sincerity be worthy of the person who wholeheartedly loved her? Bai Qingxue shakes her head and wants to say something. However, Lin Luoran pats her forehead and remembers one thing. Lin Luoran takes out a storage bag and the bright sword from space and pushes them to Bai Qingxue. I haven't had a good rest since I came back from Lost Land. Today, I finally remembered to return them to their original owners. The former is the secret treasure that she and Bai Qingxue once went to Misty Peak to take out. Most of them are top-grade spirit stones. At this time, Bai Qingxue's personal ability has fallen to the bottom. If she wants to start from scratch, spirit stones are indispensable. As for the bright sword, it was originally given to White Fairy by Yi Zhao. It has a special meaning, so Lin Luoran can't use it anymore. When returning it, she has erased the brand on the sword. At this moment, the bright sword has become a masterless sword again. Bai Qingxue refuses to take it. You don't have to worry about my personal ability enhancement needs. The storage bracelet left by Yi Zhao has prepared all kinds of materials. The consumption in the early stage of personal ability enhancement is not the same as that in the later stage. The things in the bracelet are quality rather than quantity. With what I need now, it is not a problem for me to gather vitality again. I have already said that these spirit stones are for you. As for the bright sword, Lin Luoran nods quickly. Even if I accept the spirit stones, the bright sword is a token of love from Mr. Wuxia. I can't take it. You don't have to worry about the snow sword. I will find a chance to get it back. I won't let the blue phoenix fly alone. Bai Qingxue finally nods. She doesn't want other things except for the bright sword. She has placed too many beautiful feelings on it. She will refine a better flying sword and exchange it for the snow sword from Baojia. At the same time, by the Dongting Lake, the leaves of a longleaf willow are almost pulled out by Liao. The beautiful young man rolls his eyes. Anyway, you are a person who once proved the Tao. Can't you have the quality of caring for the environment? Liao glares at him and murmurs, animals also have the quality. The world has really changed a lot. Hu Ji is furious. He really wants to scold that their whole family is animals. Thinking that he can't beat the stinky old man in front of him now, he changes from scolding to laughing. If you have the ability, you can say this to that half-monster. Liao thinks that Hu Ji is too childish and ridiculous. He is always trying to provoke Mu Tiannan. What good does it do for him except to set off Mu Tiannan? Liao sighs. I was worried when I lost my memory. I was even more worried when I got it back. Do you think I should remind Linny not to worry about the mess of the earth? Hu Ji shakes his head. You see, she has spent so much effort. She can even hold back from meeting her family. How can she give up easily? Liao sighs. But once she really succeeds, her agreement with that person. I just want her to have a chance to really live for herself once. Hu Ji snorts. What a bullshit agreement. Go to the person who made it. Can't you force her to buy or sell? Liao looks at him as if he is a fool. Hu Ji is not convinced and rushes to him. The two soon wrestle with each other without caring about their image. The fish and shrimps by the lake flee in panic. After talking for a while, the topic finally deviates from the main topic. It becomes Liao and Hu Ji ridiculing each other. As for whether to confess the truth or not, alas, let's wait. Zhongdu City. Baojia, who has been an ordinary person for a few months, hands in today's trophies. She takes a piece of mutant beast and returns to her rented apartment. She is delayed for some time today. When she returns home, she sees that the caregiver is obviously relieved. Sorry to bother you. I'm a little late today. Baojia has a good attitude. The middle-aged woman nags her about Chao's situation today. When she opens the door and wants to leave, she remembers something. She points to the paper on the table and says that it is sent by the community staff. The caregiver's tone is envious. After closing the door, Baojia picks up the paper. It is a check-in application. It turns out that the staff of the area where she lives sees that she is a young girl with a demented child, so they give her a place in the second batch of people moving to the Acropolis. Baojia looks at the application form for a while. She crumples the paper and throws it into the trash can. Then she goes into the kitchen as if nothing has happened. She makes a simple and nutritious dinner for two. After patiently feeding it to the silly Chao, Baojia cleans up the kitchen. It is very late. After taking a shower and lying on the bed, she can't fall asleep. Yes, she has recovered her previous memory in the Green Mountains world. First, there are some sporadic fragments. The impact of two different identities and different lives makes her flee. But the farther she escapes, the clearer those memories become. She remembers that she lost her parents when she was young. Grandpa gets out of the Hongqi car and picks her up. Then he gets in the car and goes to the villa in the capital. He doesn't say a word all the way. She is too scared to speak. When she gets home, the tough grandpa calls her Baojia and buries his head in her neck. Hot tears make her cry. Commander Qin coaxes her in a hurry. After crying, she is extremely dependent on the only family left. She follows Commander Qin wherever he goes. The iron-boned old soldier doesn't know how to coax a child. Whenever he is free, he studies cooking. The older generation is stubborn. If they want to raise a child well, they must let her eat well. Except for the only daughter who has passed away, her grandpa has no other bloodline. After Baojia becomes sensible, she changes her surname to Qin. Later, she goes back to the center of Chuan province to go to school. She makes friends and has the first real friend who is not a fair-weather friend. Commander Qin is transferred back to Chuan province. She also stays. Commander Qin doesn't force her to inherit the family business. He says that she is a girl and the life of a soldier is too hard. He drives her to learn her favorite jewelry design. What happens later? She never regrets the choices she has made. What she regrets is that if she had known that the life of Qin Baojia would be asleep in her early 30s, she should have accompanied the stubborn old man more. She should have joined the army and become a female general who could make the old man proud. She has the ability now. She can fly, but Commander Qin can't see her anymore. Chapter 542. The war between the Galactic Alliance and the Galactic Alliance could go on for decades due to the vastness of the star fields and the large number of member planets. However, the two alliances are aggressive to the Alpha Alliance this time. In the fourth year of the war, the Alpha Alliance has been defeated. The betrayal of the senior member star accelerates the speed of the Alpha Alliance's defeat. Even in this star territory war, the Alpha Alliance has many famous young generals, but they can't turn the tide and pull the Alpha Alliance back from the decline. Among them is Colin's old rival Got Sutherland. After the fall of the Caesar Star, this noble general who used to sneer at Colin as a traitor took the Sutherland family to join the Bape Alliance. For Got Sutherland, Garter is still alive. Lin Luoran and others have almost forgotten about the Alliance officer, who was left on the wild planet. However, his excellent performance in the Alliance War and his betrayal are shaped as a model by the Bape Alliance. His reputation is unparalleled in this star territory. Lin Luoran and others can't miss the news about him even if they want to. Judging by Mu Tiannan's eyesight, this person is a bit weird now. He is not a real human at all. His body should have died 10 years ago, but it is controlled by a group of power. He talks and acts like ordinary people, but he is a real living dead inside. Mu Tiannan's appraisal reminds Lin Luoran and others of the goblin who escaped because of Hu Ji's carelessness on the wild star. When they talk, Mu Tiannan hears that goblin has no real body and can only live in the body of other creatures. He suddenly remembers an old thing. It was when Lin Luoran just returned to the Earth from the alien star territory. When she held the Miaoing Spell Conference in Dongting, the Alpha Alliance launched an airstrike against Dongting City. When Mu Tiannan passed by the space station on the back of the moon star, he found the breath of monsters. That was the base of the Alpha Alliance's airstrike. The goblin participated in it, so it was obviously hostile to Lin Luoran. This statement makes everyone vigilant. No matter whether the body is controlled by the will of Got or the goblin, it is not friendly to Lin Luoran. Naturally, it will not be friendly to the Earth Federation. As senior generals of the Alpha Alliance, they don't mind. Anyway, they have offended the Alpha Alliance. But at the critical moment, this guy turns to Bape Alliance who is about to win. Bape Alliance is trying its best to promote him. Lin Luoran feels that after the two alliances deal with Alpha, their attitudes towards the Earth may change. Colin cursed the Sutherland family for being so persistent. When he opened his mouth, he revealed his white teeth. Before the fall of Caesar Planet, Colin had contacted his family several times, begging them to give up on Caesar Planet. He had already helped them apply for temporary residence in Wei City. Lin Luoran doesn't object to this. Unlike the Sutherland family, which is famous for its military exploits, the Weir family, where Colin is from, is not glorious. Later, they are not recognized by the mainstream of Caesar Star, so they don't participate in the army. More than 300 years ago, the Alpha Alliance invaded the Earth. If the Sutherland family actively fought for military exploits, the Weir family did not participate at all. Lin Luoran has known this for a long time, so she can be kind to Colin. The alliance is hateful, but not everyone is her enemy. Colin's plan is very good. He withdraws the main force of his family before the Caesar Star completely falls. However, this family with waterside red, as its emblem, is not very glorious. Usually, it is like a fence-sitter. After the current patriarch of the family handed over the descendants and the foundation accumulated by the family for many years to Colin, he died on the battlefield against the Bape Alliance with the power of the family. The decadent image of the Weir family for hundreds of years is reversed overnight, forming a sharp contrast with the Sutherland family. No matter who will occupy today's star territory of the Alpha Alliance in the future, or which force is in power, the people who once lived in this star territory will only praise the Weir family who died for the country, even if they say they must obey the Sutherland family. After reading the patriarch's last words, Colin understands that the patriarch has been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. The Weir family couldn't bear the shame forever. Only fire and blood could burn away the shame that had been added to the family's reputation. After this battle, the Weir family would be full of loyalty. Those who survived would definitely be able to join the real noble circle of the vast star area. That is the pursuit of all the previous patriarchs, including himself. The patriarch of the Weir family died for a reason. After the family elites move into the temporary residence area applied for by Colin, the Earth's people are surprisingly friendly to them. Compared with other alliances who apply for temporary residence with various excuses and pay a lot of money, the Earth's people still respect martyrs in their bones. It has nothing to do with their standpoint. It's just because they have similar experiences. In the 6th year after Lin Luoran returned from Lost Land, the 10th super defense city is built. This speed of building a city, can be called a miracle in the history of architecture. Abandoning all kinds of unimportant urbanization, the priority is to arrange the largest population. Compared with Dongting City, which has been expanded 3 times, the living environment of the defense city is not very good. Many people live in small apartments. However, compared with the fate of some member stars of the Alpha Alliance, they feel that they are lucky enough. Han Kueisheng is extremely glad that he made the right decision in time. Because of the news of Pang Xianzhong, the Han family funded most of their family business to the federal government long ago before the relocation plan was launched, in exchange for the opportunity to move the whole family to Dongting City. Now there is a large area outside Dongting City which has been rebuilt. It also has a high status. Other big businessmen who are a little slow are envious. Han Kueisheng is more satisfied that the place where he lives is not far from the Ma's villa. Han Weiya often comes to see him. Later, Pang Xianzhong's secretary also introduces him to the Shuangmu Research Institute. This infinite crocodile, lurking under the eyes of the alliance, coincides with Han Kueisheng's idea. He and Rong Shiha regret not meeting each other earlier. They take advantage of the Alpha Alliance being busy to make money from the war. Seeing that they can even smuggle a battleship back, a professional battleship, Lin Luoran turns a blind eye and lets them do whatever they want. In 6 years, the 10 defense cities originally planned can't meet the demand. Not to mention the alliance people who apply for refuge on the earth in every possible way. The migration of human settlements in the Grand Canyon of East Africa has put pressure on the urban population. The federal construction team has never really had a rest. However, Lin Luoran is very satisfied when she sees tall buildings rising from the ground. The concentration of the power of faith makes the Dragon King Taoist seal expand successfully as she expected. As long as the people's will is indestructible, Dongting City will be fine. The defense cities covered by the Taoist seal will also be safe. In recent years, Mu Tiannan has taken care of all the trivial things. Lin Luoran once had a closed-door training for a year to stabilize her personal ability of the middle period of gathering vitality, after she sensed the gold of the 5 elements. Many things have happened in the past 6 years. What makes Lin Luoran the happiest is that Fire Phoenix and Silver Fish, which were seriously injured in the Green Mountains world, are finally healed by the 10,000-year hollow azurite, nourishing them like it costs nothing. She can also gradually face the gold hawk calmly. 4 of the 5 elements in the space are all idle. Only the silverfish can occasionally appear outside the space with the help of the dragon skeleton. It casts clouds and rain above Dongting Lake in the appearance of the dragon race, attracting people's incense. The other 3 monsters can't get out of the space. Lin Luoran has a headache all day long. As a result, Liao teaches her a very effective method. Lin Luoran tries to make a set of Wuxia mahjong with 10,000-year hollow azurite and Green Mountains jade. She summarizes various ways of playing and throws them to the 4 monsters. Lin Luoran's world is finally quiet. The loser has to pay tribute. Little Silverfish is very lucky. Fire Phoenix comes up with a bad idea. After 4 rounds of mahjong every day, the one who loses the most must tell a gossip about his involvement. Wood Wolf loses in the end. It tells embarrassing stories such as peeping at deer monster bathing when it was young. It even tells the reason why it stayed on the earth as the young master of the wolf race when the monster race migrated. It is ridiculous to say that the arrogant little wood wolf is plotted against on the way of transmission. It falls out of the space node and falls back to the Naka grassland of the earth. If it hadn't found the green light flower and a group of prairie wolves, it would have become the most miserable monster in the history of cultivation, falling to death. This is why Wood Wolf refuses to mention what happened in the past. Lin Luoran has learned from Black Tortoise. She has almost figured out what happened in the past. The information Wood Wolf says is not so important anymore. She remembers the old story of meeting the fake Saintess and the ancestor of the monsters of wood when she returned to ancient Babylon. In the end, the 2 probably entered the stone gate of the Tower of Babel together. The fake Saintess failed and returned. However, the ancestor of the monsters of wood has never been heard from since. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether he has successfully gone to the place he wants to go. At that time, some well-informed people in the world of cultivation had already started to leave the earth, right? In the 5th year, Rong Shiha is over 50 years old. Lin Luoran sees him working hard and asks him if he is willing to cultivate. He is the blood of the Rong family, and he has been guarding Lin's pharmaceutical factory for hundreds of years. Lin Luoran still wants to protect this descendant of her old friend. However, Rong Shiha, who has no Taoist root, refuses Lin Luoran's proposal. His move is beyond everyone's expectation. Cultivation, power and longevity. Such a cycle is enough to tempt every ordinary person like a moth to the fire. Rong Shiha is getting old, but he can resist the temptation. How can people not be surprised? Rong Shiha, who is over 50 years old, looks very calm in front of Lin Luoran. Tess, the wise ancestor of the Rong family, once said that if the descendants wait for Lin Luoran, and the Rong family have the Taoist root, Lin Luoran will definitely suggest them to cultivate. At that time, they can choose a good person to step into the path of cultivation. However, if Lin Luoran comes back and there is still no one with the Taoist root in the Rong family, it means that after many years, the Rong family is still not destined to be an immortal. They can't force themselves to cultivate. Don't be greedy for things that don't belong to you. Only then will you be satisfied and happy. After hearing this, Lin Luoran feels sorry that she can't meet the adult Tess in her lifetime. Rong Shiha refuses, so Lin Luoran doesn't mention it again. In the past, she rashly built the Taoist root for Han Weiya and Lin Luoran. In fact, it was very inappropriate. If she hadn't had a sincere talk with Black Tortoise, she would have never opened her closed ocean of consciousness. Cultivation still depends on chance. Building the Taoist root for others casually is also suspected of disrupting the destiny. Just like Colin and Han Weiya, Lin Luoran doesn't know where they can go on the road of personal ability enhancement. The acquired Taoist root is always fake. Colin also has the Taoist root of 2 natures. Compared with Ma Shuangshuang, who has the same aptitude, he is not as good as Ma Shuangshuang in terms of the perception of Reiki between heaven and earth, and the speed of training qi into the body. Among them, Bai Qingxue has the fastest progress in personal ability enhancement. She is a cultivator in the middle period of training qi, who is in the late period of gathering vitality. With the resources left by Yi Zhao, she succeeds in laying foundation again. It is at the end of the 3rd year, and the beginning of the 4th year. Bai Qingxue has the corresponding state of mind, so she is not afraid of unstable foundation. She cultivates hard. She just hopes to go faster and faster, so that she can catch up with the footsteps of Yi Zhao, who successfully passed the divinization doom and ascended to the spiritual world more than 1,000 years ago. Mu Tiannan's blood poison is suppressed by the snake fruit, but it still breaks out from time to time. Every time there is a sign, he refuses to help and hides in the big suite of the Rose Hotel, and refuses to go out. The desire to suck blood gnaws at his spirit. What Mu Tiannan wants to defeat is the blood demon living in his heart. Once, the blood poison breaks out for a long time. Peng Xianzhong hears that the door of the suite of the Rose Hotel has been closed for more than half a month. He is very anxious to find Lin Luoran. The thick door can isolate the sound in the room, but it can't hide from Lin Luoran's ears. She can hear a burst of beast-like low panting from the other side of the door. He is trying his best to restrain himself, but he is still moaning like a wounded cub. Lin Luoran can imagine that in the luxurious suite, Mu Tiannan, who is tough, is in great pain that makes him moan like a beast regardless of his image. Lin Luoran sighs. It turns out that the blood poison in his body will still break out. It just turns the continuous pain into poison that accumulates in the body. Although there is an interval, every time it breaks out, it is really fatal. Hearing her sigh through the door, Mu Tiannan, who is curled up in the room, has a brief sobriety. Then his whole body is completely stiff. Just like he used to want to maintain a good image. After killing the old bat and covering up the unbearable past, he will calmly appear in front of her. However, all the darkness is exposed to the sun by accident. Besides, at this time the person Mu Tiannan wants to see most but also least is Lin Luoran. Don't come in. I don't want to scare you. Mu Tiannan tries his best to keep his voice natural, but his depression can still be seen in the sentences. Lin Luoran is silent for a long time. Then she answers in a low voice, "Okay," and turns to leave. She sits quietly for a long time on the small terrace of the Rose Hotel, which is different from other interstellar hotels. She has mixed feelings in her heart. In the 6th year, the Alpha Alliance is defeated, and all the people of the Federation have moved to the safe zone. The increasingly severe situation makes the federal government implement trade tightening. Except for strategic reserves, it tries to reduce the contact with the outside world. In the seemingly paradise environment, people gradually feel at ease. In fact, the Federation's control has been deployed beyond Pluto. It monitors at all times and will not let go of any clues. Lin Luoran has handed over the trifles to others. She concentrates on taking care of various seedlings and seeds in the space. Now some delicate fruit trees outside Dongting City begin to bear fruit gradually. Although the fruit taste is not pure and the fruit is pitifully small, those volunteers who once took the initiative to ask for land are still very happy. Starting from this summer, some people start to sell their own fruits and vegetables on the streets of Dongting City. Lin Luoran sees all kinds of hawkers on the street. She wonders if she has traveled back to the new era. A large area of pine trees planted by Han Weiya is also harvested. Everyone in the family has a handful of fragrant fried pine nuts. Han Kueisheng holds the pine nuts harvested by his daughter all day long. It doesn't take long for him to have the so-called melon seed teeth. A small piece is missing from the door, which makes Boss Han even more serious in front of outsiders. Dongting has completely become the administrative center of the Earth Federation. Pang Xianzhong becomes the youngest central sequence number 2 of the Federation. The affectionate title Mr. Pang has been with him until now. Among the people sponsored by Mu Tiannan, Pang Xianzhong gets the greatest support. He also deserves this support. At the age of knowing destiny, he has become a mature and outstanding politician. In the winter of the 6th year, Lin Luoran and Bai Qingxue, who usually practices hard, walk on the street. Hu Ji shamelessly follows them, and says he is willing to carry their bags. The spring festival of the old calendar is coming. Lin Luoran takes a break from her busy schedule. She hopes that she can have a lively and warm spring festival this year. Hu Ji shamelessly follows Lin Luoran, and says he is willing to carry her bags. There are many kinds of high-tech products. Even the sound of firecrackers is simulated. Bai Qingxue is sharp-eyed and finds an old lady with silver hair is surrounded by a group of people at the corner of the street. The spring festival is approaching. With the sponsorship of a big businessman, there is a simulated snowflake in the 3rd defense city today. In the artificial snowflakes all over the sky, the old lady's hand holding the scissors is very steady. She lowers her head and focuses on a stack of red paper in her hand. Is it a handmade paper cut? Lin Luoran is also interested. Even in Wuxia before the new era, this ancient craft gradually faces the decline of no one to inherit it. Unexpectedly, in the interstellar era hundreds of years later, when the ancient civilization of the Earth is almost destroyed, she can still see such a veteran craftsman. Bai Qingxue also shows a look of nostalgia. When she was a child before she joined the Misty Peak, every spring festival, the villagers could carefully prepare some meat that they could not usually eat, fried fruits, and those who cleaned the snow on the windowsill and carefully pasted paper cuts. After personal ability enhancement, there is naturally no spring festival in the world of cultivation. Bai Qingxue kind of understands why Lin Luoran is stubborn and reluctant to let go of the world of mortals. Most of the purest happiness and beauty in life are indeed caused by the easiness of being satisfied when she was young. So far, Bai Qingxue also has a serious plan to spend the spring festival. She squeezes into the crowd and asks the old lady to cut a pattern of bumper harvest and cattle and sheep. Holding the paper cut, she finds that Lin Luoran is staring at a certain direction in a daze. Following her gaze, Bai Qingxue finds a person who is not too strange to her. The artificial snowfall brings the chill. Qin Baojia is wrapped in a gray cotton-padded coat and pushing the wheelchair. She looks at Lin Luoran with changing eyes. Soon her eyes are full of tears. Chao in the wheelchair is full of innocent tears. He is very happy because of the snow falling on his shoulders. Lin Luoran can't bear to be mistaken. She not only meets Qin Baojia, who she hasn't seen for a few years on the street. For a moment, she feels that the real Qin Baojia seems to be back. Chapter 543. Black Tortoise once said that a person's identity is composed of different social relationships. In terms of address, her parents call her Nan Nan when she was a child. When she is older, they always call her Ran Ran. Ordinary friends call her Luoran. When she is a little successful in personal ability enhancement, everyone calls her school sister Lin, and then Master Lin. Only Baojia, who knows her in her youth, laughs at her for being a cowardly rabbit, so she calls her Luo. Outsiders only know that this is a name taken from the middle character of her full name. No one will know that it is originally cowardly. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of years have passed. Lin Luoran has become a female cultivator of the gathering vitality period. In everyone's eyes, she is powerful and invulnerable. Where is the cowardly shadow? But why is it that when she sees Baojiao on the crowded street, she still feels like being entangled by invisible vines? She is so cowardly that she doesn't dare to meet Baojia. With the support of large merchants, snow that could pass for real fell. Many citizens surged out of the streets and alleys. They were excited and overjoyed by this rare white snow. After all, this was the citadel with a high population density. In just a short period of time, the streets became several times more lively than before. White snow falls on the wheelchair. Chao's eyes are filled with the innocence of a child. His pure eyes form a strong contrast with Baojia's long and narrow eyes, which are shimmering slightly. Chao's eyes are ignorant of the world, but Baojia's eyes are experienced. Lin Luoran sees the familiar Qin Baojia in Chao's long and narrow eyes. Lin Luoran is afraid that her cowardice may be just her illusion. They accompany each other and spend their teenage years in the misty rain town. They are admitted to a university in Rong City, and stay in Rong City to work together. For a long time, one is a rebellious girl who lost her parents when she was young, and the other is a cowardly and honest country girl. They only support each other. Although they are not related by blood, they are closer than sisters. They will not turn against each other because of interests. Such an important Baojia is lost by her. Lin Luoran has regretted it countless times. Is it a mistake to take Baojia on the path of cultivation? Just like how she insisted on letting her mother cultivate. If it weren't for her greed, it wouldn't be difficult for her to protect her mother and Baojia for a lifetime with her ability. Due to various reasons, now she is only a few meters away from Baojia. However, she doesn't dare to step forward and ask, "Baojia, are you back?" Baojia's eyes are shining with tears. She is not surprised to meet Lin Luoran on the street. She picked up the application she threw away 6 years ago and came to the third defense city. She knew that they would meet one day since they are so close to each other. But she didn't expect that it would be so long. Lin Luoran is so stupid and cowardly. Baojia sees that Lin Luoran can only stand there stupidly, so she pushes Chao forward. She blinks back the tears in her eyes and pretends to be relaxed. Long time no see, little Luo. Lin Luoran starts to think that there is something wrong with her hearing. 2 minutes later, Baojia is still looking at her with a smile. A smile slowly appears on Lin Luoran's face. As she smiles, her tears fall down uncontrollably. On the crowded street, a bearing essence female cultivator and another gathering vitality female cultivator hug each other and cry regardless of their image. Huji's eyes twitch. He feels that women are really complicated and difficult to understand. Bai Qingxue smiles gently. She is happy that Lin Luoran's long-cherished wish for many years comes true. She asks the old lady to make a lot of paper cuts. There are bumper crops, lotuses and fish, and New Year pictures. She has a hunch that this will be an unforgettable spring festival of the new era. Well, it is better to post this New Year picture on the second floor. The real Qin Baojia not only comes back, but also recovers her memory a few years ago. When Lin Luoran learns the truth, she is so angry that she cries again. Baojia looks at her red rabbit eyes and feels speechless. Although she remembers her former life as Qin Baojia, she has been living as Nolan for nearly 100 years. She had lived for nearly 100 years as Nolan. 2 different lives and 2 completely different personalities had caused a battle between the 2 personalities in her sea of consciousness. She had no choice but to leave at that time. After giving up the identity of a cultivator and living as an ordinary person with Chao for many years, Baojia can only fall asleep peacefully at night when she is extremely tired during the day. Qin Baojia has been thinking about how to distinguish which life is what she really wants for a few years. In fact, whether it is Qin Baojia or Nolan. Nolan's identity was that of a noble lady. Baojia's wandering life is concentrated in the days of interstellar wanderings. She has personal ability, but her memory is blank. Now thinking about it, no matter who reaches out to her at that time, she will grasp it tightly, right? That's why she cares so much about the identity of Nolan. She cared so much about the identity of Nolan. Compared with the so-called inheritance, Baojia cared more about having a name and living as a real person. At that time, Lin Luoran suddenly appeared. For Baojia, Nolan is about to be completely overthrown. Nolan is about to be completely overthrown, which makes her panic and uneasy. Therefore, she escapes again and again. She first leaves Nami Star. When she is stimulated by the fake scientists in the Green Mountains, and her memory begins to really recover, she leaves Dongting. After escaping for so many years, Qin Baojia finally understands. No matter what her name is, she can't change the surname of Qin in her body. Even if she is Nolan, she has a longer life. However, the distant and powerful Nami Star is not as comfortable for her as this dilapidated Earth. The high red wall of the capital is still there. Commander Qin is gone, but Lin Luoran is still there. In the longer years to come, they will still support each other and continue to travel together. This is enough. Therefore, she is still willing to be Qin Baojia with only 30 years of memory. She doesn't need to say these words to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran still looks at her with a kind of distressed eyes. Such tacit friendship allows her to choose according to her heart, and there will be no other regrets. Baojia is back. How can Lin Luoran let her sit in the third defense city, which is a little far away? There are so many people living in the Moss Villa, but it is a little small. No one can imagine that mortal Heart Fairy doesn't live in the Dragon Palace. She has lived in the small villa by Dongting Lake for so many years. Without revealing her identity, Lin Luoran spends a lot of effort to buy the villa next door. Mu Tiannan is probably tired of living in the Rose Hotel, so he buys another one at the same time. In the end, Liao and Hu Ji also buy it. Lin Luoran doesn't know where he and Hu Ji get so many properties. It should be known that the residence qualification in Dongting City is very difficult to get. Now few people will sell properties in Dongting City. Bai Qingxue was once a grandmaster. She doesn't feel comfortable living in other people's house for a long time. She casually sells something to Han Weiya's father. Lao Han is so excited that he takes the initiative to handle the transfer of a villa for her. Bai Qingxue doesn't need to do anything. In fact, it is not a secret that Lin Luoran lives in this villa community. However, even if Han Kueisheng has a daughter who cultivates with Lin Luoran, Lao Han is very smart and never wants to buy a house in this community, not to mention other smart politicians or the Lu family who are in awe of Lin Luoran. The 5 nearest villas are bought, forming a small circle with the Ma family, separating other residents from the small circle. In order to ensure privacy and for the liveliness of living together, the 6 houses, including the Ma families, were surrounded by a bamboo wall that was as tall as 2 people, completely blocking their line of sight. Another door was opened on the side by the lake. Baojia loves hibiscus flowers. Lin Luoran helps her grow a few drunken hibiscus flowers and plant them in the yard. The flowers are tall and their branches reach the window on the 2nd floor. In the early morning, when you open the window, you can see the lake, mountains and green flowers. It is really a great enjoyment. Mu Tiannan strengthens the soundproofing function of the villa. He knocks out the complicated design and transplants all kinds of expensive roses to fill the yard. The fragrance of the flowers attracts butterflies, and other residents also want to see what is going on through the gaps of the bamboo wall. Liao's villa. Liao has hidden his strength for a long time, but it is really exposed by a villa. Since living alone in a house, Liao has been mysterious all day. Lin Luoran feels that she has neglected him recently, so she makes an appointment with Mu Tiannan and Baojia to see him. When they arrive, they find that Hu Ji is also there. He looks flustered and gloating. Lin Luoran is suspicious. Baojia opens the door casually. Poor Liao is carving in front of a table of bamboo. Seeing that he is disturbed, he waves his hand discontentedly. Zhuyi, the master is not thirsty yet. Lin Luoran sees him working hard and wonders. Who is Zhuyi? It seems that they are right to come here today. They usually ignore Liao so much that they don't even know that he has hired a nanny. As soon as Liao hears Lin Luoran's voice, his hand fiddling with the bamboo carving becomes stiff. He looks up and glances around. He can't wait to kill Hu Ji, who is hiding behind Lin Luoran, and peeping at his expression. He thinks angrily that people who are not of the same kind must have different intentions. However, at this moment, it seems that Liao doesn't die fast enough. A maid in an ancient costume wearing green gauze with half of her breasts walks in gently like a weak willow in the wind. Master, do you have any orders for Zhu Yi? After her, Zhu Er, Zhu San, and Zhu Si appear in turn. Bao Jiao is stunned, and so is Lin Luoran. Only Mu Tiannan's expression remains unchanged. Hu Ji takes the opportunity to slip away quietly. Bao Jia obviously doesn't expect this old man to be so wretched. Lin Luoran is stunned, but she vaguely feels that the scene in front of her is a little familiar. Which year was it? She went to the Fragrant Hill Villa in the capital for the first time. She saw a group of maids bowing and greeting master. Mu Tiannan can't enjoy the attention from his side. He looks calm, but in fact he wants to slip away like Hu Ji. Those frivolous years. It's not that he doesn't want to take revenge, but it's not the right time. Liao raises his hands to surrender. I can explain. Listen to me. His voice is too tragic. It's almost the end of the year, and everyone is here. Soon, they come to watch under the leadership of Bai Qingxue. Seeing a few sexy girls in revealing clothes, Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya scold old man and stomp away. Bai Qingxue is well informed. Compared with some girls in the Devil's Doctrine, these girls in front of her are very conservative, so she is also very calm. Ma Yiming, who would rather break than bend, also feels that Liao hides a few girls dressed like this in the villa, which is really a disgrace to him. Out of respect for the elders, he blushes. He doesn't know whether to leave or stay. He is in a dilemma. Only Colin used to be a playboy. Since he decided to follow Lin Luoran, he hasn't been like this for a long time. He secretly gives Liao a thumbs up to show his admiration. Liao cries loudly with a sad face. It's a misunderstanding, but unfortunately no one listens. It's over. His image in the little school sister's heart is ruined. Holy thunder will fall from the sky and kill him on the spot. If he wants to explain things clearly, he must expose his strength. After Liao regains his memory, he regrets the image he has built over the years. He is actually a mellow young man in a wretched coat. Hu Ji once sneered at him. Why don't you say you are a mellow young man? Recently, he has been so low-key and has been working hard to build his positive image. Is it going to be destroyed? Liao looks at everyone making an expression of, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person to him. They all shake their heads and leave. He really wants to hit the wall. The four leaders who have been watching silently in space start to gamble under the leadership of Fire Phoenix. Fire Phoenix says, I bet a cucumber. This guy will definitely take the initiative to surrender in less than 2 days. Little Silverfish thinks for a while. 2 cucumbers a day. It is as concise as ever. Gold Hawk says you are really naive. Wood Wolf, who has been losing so much recently that he wants to cut off his hands, shouts with red eyes. I bet a cart of cucumbers. Liao will tell the truth within 2 hours. As for the final result, Wood Wolf wins completely for the first time. Fire Phoenix personally guards the cucumber vine in Lin Luoran's space. Even with the speed of growth in space, it still takes 5 days to gather a cart of cucumbers. It throws them all in front of Wood Wolf and smiles sinisterly. You win, little Wood Wolf. I didn't expect you to have such a weird taste. Silverfish doesn't know what it means. Gold Hawk says that Fire Phoenix is the most evil party leader among the 4 leaders in space. Liao holds a pile of bamboo carvings and takes Bamboo One to confess. He performs Big Bamboo Man in front of a group of people. Liao's grievances are finally cleared. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to ask when Liao regains his personal ability. She is very surprised by the bamboo carvings on the ground. Bamboo One, who used to be a child with big breasts, has now become a small and delicate bamboo carving. Faint reiki comes from the center of the bamboo carving. What is this? Ma Shuang loves the bamboo doll so much. Liao scratches his head. It's a puppet monster. No, this should be a puppet man. The crystal nucleus of mutant monsters is used as energy in the middle. The material is too poor, and it is very laborious to make. After listening to him, Lin Luoran finds that the surface of the bamboo doll is really covered by a very shallow pattern. According to Liao, the body of the lively maid is actually the most common bamboo. Lin Luoran has an unfathomable impression of Liao again. Liao's puppet man makes Ma Shuang very excited. Liao proudly tells the general principal. Lin Luoran suddenly remembers the doll she got from Mount Punglai and shows it to Liao. Liao's eyes widen. Although he reunited with Lin Luoran on the N2 trade star, he and Hu Ji went to the Green Mountains during the Miaoying Spell Conference. However, he has never seen Lin Luoran take out this group of female fairy dolls who play music. At this moment he sees it for the first time, but he shows a strange look. Lin Luoran continues to ask, but he carefully asks her how she got the doll. Then he sighs. The materials and craftsmanship are all top-notch works. Even I can't make them now. Lin Luoran never thinks that the puppet man made of ordinary bamboo can be better than the one she brought from Spirit Mountain. However, it's fine if Liao praises female fairy who plays music. Why does he look so proud? She thinks of Liao's complaint about the poor materials. She remembers the spirit bamboos she transplanted into space when she found Ullivan Wise Brain in the Sea of Bamboo in the south of Chuan. Because of hundreds of years of reproduction, even if she has been digging bamboo shoots to eat recently, the bamboo forest still occupies a large area of space. She can send some to Liao to make puppets. Compared with the bare-chested maid and female fairy who plays music, puppets should be more useful. However, before that, Lin Luoran interrogates Liao. Liao is still evasive about his origin. Hearing Lin Luoran asking him if he is an immortal, Liao rolls his eyes. No matter who I am, in the mortal world, I can only reach the personal ability of divinization at most. Do you think the law of the world is not to be trifled with? A group of people jeers to see the ability of the divinization period. Liao is so scared that he runs away like a rat. Because several villas are being renovated, the Spring Festival is undoubtedly spent in the Ma family. Lin Luoran remembers the Spring Festival before the new era. She has prepared the New Year's goods early. There are all kinds of candies, fried goods, and smoked bacon and sausages that people in the center of Chuan love in winter. Han Weiya contributes pine branches. The smoked bacon is golden and shiny with a faint smell of rosin. On New Year's Eve, she cooks a large table of dishes. Hearing the sound of electronic firecrackers on the street, people at the table eat and drink. They drink up several jars of spirit wine that Lin Luoran brings out. Everyone's face is flushed. This is the first spring festival for me and Shuang. Let me propose a toast to you, Aunt Lin. Ma Yiming's body is a little shaky when he picks up the wine glass. Lin Luoran has just returned to Dongting City. When she borrowed the reading card from him in the city library, she didn't expect that he would be the descendant of the little fatty Ma Ming. After getting along with him for more than 10 years, Ma Yiming has successfully laid foundation with an extremely poor physique a few days ago. Although he is still not as fast as Ma Shuang's personal ability, his life has changed fundamentally. He was forced to be embarrassed by the business in Juzhou Market. Okay. Lin Luoran's eyes are gentle, and she drinks up a glass of wine. Aunt Lin, I also propose a toast to you. Ma Shuang's eyes are slightly red. She not only lives over 20 years old. With her current personal ability enhancement speed, she can live to 200 years old, or even more. But what if Aunt Lin didn't show up that year? Lin Luoran doesn't say anything. She also drinks up this glass of wine that she has to drink. Han Weiya has a good reason to propose a toast. Shaping the Taoist root is like giving her a new life. She actually has 2 masters on the road of personal ability enhancement. One is Danling Taoist and the other is Aunt Lin. As for Colin, he is a famous playboy of Caesar Star. Now he is synonymous with competence. In this family, he always does things silently. No one really treats him as a servant, but he does better and more than a servant. Caesar Star has fallen. The Earth is more like Colin's second hometown. Lin Luoran has to drink his wine. Bai Qingxue raises her glass. I don't want to say anything. Let me drink up first. White Fairy, who is both a teacher and a friend. Thank you for your company for so many years. Lin Luoran drinks so fast that she almost chokes on the wine. Among the people here, only Baojia, Mu Tiannan, and Liao don't propose a toast to her. Lin Luoran and Qin Baojia are sisters for a lifetime. This can't be explained by a glass of wine. Mu Tiannan doesn't propose a toast because he feels sorry that she drinks too much. Liao probably has the same reason. He smiles brightly. After thousands of years of loneliness, he finally waits for this day. Junior sister, we really haven't had a meal together for a long time. Lin Luoran drinks one glass after another. She doesn't use meta to force out the alcohol. Spirit wine has a strong after effect. She gets drunk. The bell rings at 12 o'clock. Bai Qingxue, who also drinks a lot, shakes her. I heard that making a wish is the most effective on New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve. Get up and make a wish. Lin Luoran giggles and mutters, I hope the feast will never end, never end. As long as the feast is not over, everyone present doesn't have to leave. Chapter 544. Not long after the Warm Spring Festival, the news that the Alpha Alliance has made its surrender public suddenly comes out. Such a shocking news not only shocks the Earth Federation, but also many other alliances who are paying attention to the war. They can't help but tremble. After all, the Alpha Alliance is an old interstellar alliance. Its strength is not the top, but it is not so weak. When the news broke out layer by layer, Catherine Gott's name is once again famous within the star territories of several alliances. General Gott not only betrayed himself, but also instigated the rebellion of several fortresses. In addition, General Gott contributed the military layout with the power of his whole family. The Alpha Alliance was defeated. The time when they signed the surrender letter was naturally not so surprising. As for the impression of Lin Luoran and others, Colin's words can be used as a summary. They thought Gott was just a bystander. Garter was just a bystander. In the end, Garter became a C-list actor. Everyone thought that he was a dead C-list actor. Garter's portrayal of the villain was unparalleled, and he suddenly won the Best Actor award. Although it sounds ridiculous, everyone present knows that Gott knows that everyone knows his background, but he is still fearless. They don't know why he is so confident. The more powerful his trump card is, the greater the threat to the Earth Federation. Liao secretly makes a gesture of slitting his neck to Hu Ji. Mu Tiannan also intends to kill the threat in the cradle. The three of them reach a consensus for the first time. It is not impossible to cooperate with them. However, General Gott keeps a low profile. There are many stars in the Alpha Alliance. The Shuangmu Research Institute and the Bloodline Club can't find his whereabouts for a while. Before Mu Tiannan and others find Gott Sutherland. Gott Sutherland shows up in public and suddenly comes into everyone's sight again. Gott Sutherland looks more handsome in a blue general uniform. His appearance fascinates many stupid literati in the Interstellar Alliance. General Gott Sutherland appears in the most widely watched interstellar news. A powerful member of Parliament of Bape Alliance personally appointed him as the special envoy to visit the Earth Federation. He announced that General Gott would visit the Earth Federation in person soon. The government of the Earth Federation is so angry that it is weak. From the political level, once the word visit is mentioned, it must mean that both sides have reached a consensus. However, Bape Alliance's move is unilateral. It has openly sent a rising military official to come here. The Earth Federation is just a colonial star that has just declared independence from the Alpha Alliance a few years ago. Even senior members of the alliance know that they should not underestimate an alliance's signal of friendship. After all, even the smallest alliance was stronger than the so-called high-level member planets. It was not wise to use the power of one planet to deal with an entire starfield alliance. Bape Alliance's move puts God in the light. Liao and others who originally wanted to kill him to eliminate the hidden danger have to give up their original plan for the sake of the Earth Federation. Only Mu Tiannan sneers. Then arrange the meeting on the Moonstar. People are not used to Mu Tiannan's sudden coldness. However, Lin Luoren knows that he probably thinks of Sixi of the Mu family when he mentions the Moonstar. That is the written record she saw on the computer when she first returned to Dongting in the new era. In 2051 AD, the Earth received an interstellar signal, and the people of the world were in an uproar. 2 weeks later, the radio waves were translated. The Alpha Alliance will officially take over the Earth. Don't make unnecessary resistance. Please cooperate. The higher-ups of various countries were in an uproar and sent envoys to the Moon to negotiate. On September 1, 2051 AD, the negotiation officially failed when the Alpha Alliance spacecraft launched energy cannons to blow up Paris, the world's famous capital. The envoys were all killed, and the heroes that history needs to remember are Wuxia country's General Mu Tianqing. Mu Tiannan's sixth brother died on the negotiation table of Moonstar. How similar was the situation at that time to the current situation? However, at that time, the most powerful cultivator on the Earth was just bearing essence. With a large number of Earthlings dragging them down, it was obvious that they could not defeat the Alpha Alliance. But now it was not so easy for Bape Alliance to revive the past. Lin Luoran, Mu Tiannan Liao, and Hu Ji are all above gathering vitality. For gathering vitality cultivators don't need to worry too much about the rear. Lin Luoran hopes that Bape Alliance won't regret its decision at this time too soon. A few days later, the visiting group led by Garter hasn't arrived yet. Mu Tiannan takes a stack of documents and throws them on the table. Bape Alliance and Alak Alliance have turned against each other. Before the spoils of war are divided, the previously solid alliance has turned against each other without warning. Now they are cleaning up the battlefield separately. Sometimes there are small conflicts between the two sides. Mu Tiannan admits that he was paralyzed by the Warm Spring Festival, and he didn't judge the situation in advance from the information sent by the club. However, it is impossible to say that there is no one stirring up trouble. The two alliances are afraid of each other, which is extremely beneficial to the Earth Federation. They have to worry about each other stabbing them in the back so they won't act rashly. Now that they have turned against each other, they won't have this worry anymore. If everything is caused by the goblin, then what does he want to achieve by courting death? Mu Tiannan can't figure this out, so he can't make effective measures to deal with him. However, it is obvious that he can't hide his purpose for a long time. Mu Tiannan habitually wants to touch the ring he used to wear on his left hand, but he gets an empty sleeve. He smiles bitterly. It is a habit of hundreds of years. Even if it is a bad habit, it is not easy to get rid of it. After a full 2 months, Sutherland, who is now putting on airs and whetting everyone's appetite. Garter and his entourage arrive at the solar system of the Earth Federation. Mu Tiannan says that the visiting group must be arranged in the Moonstar. Then no one dares to put Sutherland and his entourage on Pluto. Garter and his entourage stay on Pluto. The master of the Lu family is uneasily asked to go to the Lu's house in the 8th district by the Federation. The ancient Lu's house is very suitable as a special culture to receive the visiting group of Bape Alliance. Even though he wants to throw the people of Bape Alliance far away, as a mature and functioning government, he still has to be generous and impeccable on the surface. According to everyone's opinion, Lin Luoran should stay in Dongting City. If anything happens, she can go up to summon believers and defend Dongting first. Lin Luoran readily agrees. She thinks that if a goblin can lead all of them away, the situation of the Federation will become extremely delicate. In the end, Mr. Pang, who has a high reputation among the Federation people, leads the team to the Moonstar. Xiaoji picks them up in person. Of course, on the surface, only senior officials of the federal government go there. Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji go there secretly. A nine-tailed fox king and a half-demon, Sutherland. Before entering the Lu's house, Garter's expression changes greatly. The dead energy in his body makes his cheeks thin. The blue military uniform has a high-standing collar, which tightly wraps Garter's whole body. In the eyes of others, young General Garter lives a strict life. Only Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji, who are hiding in the backyard and drinking with each other, know that under the solemn and straight military uniform, Sutherland's increasingly dead energy has made his limbs grow blue and purple liver mortis spots. This person is a living dead who moves. In Mu Tiannan's opinion, the goblin should have given up this body long ago. However, he doesn't know if it is reluctant to give up Sutherland. This is the privilege brought by the identity of Garter. It actually cares about the body full of dead energy, which is contrary to the behavior of goblins. In the 8th district, all the residents have moved away. The entire city is maintained at the lowest energy consumption. Except for the streets that the BAPE delegation passes, only the Lu's house is still brightly lit and slightly lively. When the BAPE delegation passes through the long and empty streets, they can only hear the sound of their military boots touching the ground and the lonely echo of their footsteps. It is a bit strange to start a friendship in such a desolate place. Many members of the delegation are discussing this in their minds. However, the Small Earth Federation doesn't attach importance to them. According to the information they have learned about the customs of the Earth, the banquet and the mansion they receive are of a very high standard. Sutherland. As always, Garter almost never eats at formal banquets. Because he feels that the breath that once injured him is nearby, Garter hates it and becomes more and more absent-minded. If the powerful monster hadn't been seriously injured, his body wouldn't have decayed so quickly. More importantly, it had caused him to be in a dilemma. Throughout the preliminary meeting, Garter is not in a good state. Pang Xianzhong's fluent interstellar standard language makes him look elegant and approachable. Compared with Garter with a straight face, it is clear who is more skillful in diplomacy. General Garter, who has always been strong, performs poorly. Pang Xianzhong, the representative of the Earth Federation, considerately says goodbye and leaves the Lu's house to the delegation of BAPE Alliance. In the dead of night, the entire Lu's house is shrouded in a light cyan mist. Members of the delegation soon fall into a sweet dream. Sutherland is sleeping in his clothes. General Garter turns over and sits up from the soft bed. He walks stiffly along the winding corridor to the backyard and comes to the small courtyard where Lu Qingdai used to live. The Lu family moved back to Dongting, and the Lu's house was sealed. This time, it is opened again and the temperature is adjusted. However, there is no way to make the lotus flowers in the small pond bloom overnight to welcome the guests. Even if they can, no one is willing to bother. Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji bet when the goblin will come. Hu Ji looks at the stiff zombie and knows he has lost. He jumps into the small pond and sinks into the water. When he comes out again, he has a few fresh lotus roots and a fat carp in his hand. Hu Ji gives the fish and lotus roots to a docile and pretty maid beside him. He shakes off the water drops on his body like a cat, and then sits down again. Sutherland. Garter has been standing in the corridor and watching the two monsters quietly. He doesn't know what they are doing. The maid appears again and serves fresh fish slices and fresh and tender white lotus roots. The dishes are arranged in a unique style. He finally knows that the nine-tailed fox king just jumped into the water to find food. This is obviously not in line with the superior nine-tailed fox family in his mind. In addition, Hu Ji's angry look of stuffing fish slices and lotus roots into his mouth is too childish. The goblin feels that the most threatening one is Mu Tiannan, who once seriously injured it. Mu Tiannan only has one hand, but he is eating more elegantly than Hu Ji, who has a noble bloodline in both hands. After he finishes eating, the maid appears again and cleans up the low table. He looks at the goblin, who has been left cold for a long time. Tell me, what do you want to do by jumping around so hard? Mu Tiannan's tone seems to be chatting. However, Hu Ji, who has been with him for several years, knows that the person sitting opposite is in a bad mood. In fact, he is also in a bad mood. He jumped into the pond to dig lotus roots and catch fish in the middle of the night, which made the Fox King lose face. However, recently, he has been reminded by Liao that a man should keep his temper, so he has been tolerating it. Hu Ji, the beautiful young man, will not admit that Mu Tiannan's steady look has inspired him a lot. Although most girls love beautiful young men with peach blossom eyes and tender faces, Hu Ji has an intuition that Lin Luoran's taste must be different from most girls because of her blindness. The goblin is completely ignored by Mu and Hu. If it weren't for his visit this time, there would be many eyes staring at him in the open and in the dark. He would not have the courage to step into the Lu family's mansion. The goblin has no body and can only rely on other people's bodies. No matter how cunning they are, they will be killed in seconds in front of a powerful monster. Goblins are born in dark swamps with no light. They will dissipate when exposed to the sun. They can't cultivate unless they have a great chance. Once they are born, they will be sinners that will bring disaster to the country and the people. It is afraid of the nine-tailed fox family with noble bloodline and a promising future like Huji. At the same time, it is also very disgusted and jealous. Hearing Mu Tiannan's words, the goblin's nervous mood is slightly relaxed. It says coldly, I am injured. I need Chen Xian's power of faith to heal. Mu Tiannan laughs, and Huji is dumbfounded. They have thought for a long time. It turns out to be such a lousy reason? Huji sneers. What does your injury have to do with us? The goblin's stiff cheeks are a little flushed because of excitement. If you didn't force me out of the human girl's body and leave me on the wild planet, how could I choose a newly dead host body? If he didn't seriously injure me, how could I be trapped in a broken dead body and unable to get rid of it? You owe me, so you have to pay me back. When it comes to cheekiness, Huji claims to be the second most shameless person in the world. Probably only the wretched Liao can compete with him. Hearing the self-righteous words of the goblin, he doesn't feel guilty at all. Instead, he laughs. Is your brain also corroded by the dead energy? Since you know that the human girl has been taken over by Master Hu, you still want to occupy her body. It's not easy to escape, but you still come to us on your own. Don't you think your brain is a disgrace to the goblin race? The goblin is annoyed by Huji's words. At that time, Lin Luoran was just a bearing essence cultivator, so he didn't care too much about her. Although there is a nine-tailed fox, it has two tails. The goblin is confident that Huji is no match for it, so it hides in Han Weiya's body and waits for an opportunity. Unexpectedly, after it escapes from the savage star, not only does the woman who left it on the wild planet become mortal heart fairy, but there is also a powerful monster like Mu Tiannan on the earth. The two-tailed fox also successfully transforms. The goblin thinks of its backup plan and becomes confident again. Whether you want to or not, you must save me. The warships of Bape Alliance have even set the coordinates of the wormhole. Once the negotiation fails, the army can appear near the Earth through the wormhole at any time. After Mu Tiannan and Huji look at each other, the former suddenly asks, You dare to threaten us with this? I am now General Gott, whom the Alliance relies on. This visit is public. If something happens to me on the Moonstar, I won't end well. But you will also have to bear the anger of Bape Alliance. The goblin is very straightforward. Once something happens to him, no matter whether Bape Alliance really likes him or roasts him on the fire, his safety will be an excuse for the Alliance to take the opportunity to attack the Earth. However, why do the two people in front of him stare at him, as if they are looking at a dead man? The goblin feels uneasy, but Huji whistles. In the dark where the light cannot shine directly, a tall and thin man slowly walks out. The new blue military uniform perfectly wraps the tall and thin figure. His light gray eyes have the distinctive characteristics of the Caesars, overlapping pupils. His every move is strict and rigid, and his eyes are firm. He is the familiar Sutherland to the public. General Gott. The goblin suddenly feels cold all over. They really don't have to kill Gott and have a direct conflict with Bape Alliance. But they can completely replace Gott, without anyone knowing. Such a perfect body. There is no livor mortis on the exposed arms at all. That is a healthy and ruddy complexion. The goblin suddenly jumps into the pond, and the water splashes everywhere. Huji can't help but step back. Seeing that the little goblin is still trying to struggle, Huji stomps his feet. The empty 8th district is shrouded in a cyan mist. The night is still long. Mu Tiannan decides not to compete with Huji for the opportunity to show off. The beautiful young man smiles a little coldly. A little goblin makes them feel like they are facing a formidable enemy for such a ridiculous reason. How can he not be annoyed? The little goblin has offended the narrow-minded Fox King. He hopes that the gods will bless him tonight. At the same time, a gorgeous starship outside the solar system, after precise positioning, appeared precisely at the gap between the Earth and the Moon through a space jump under the command of a certain fatty. The commander on the starship wipes his cold sweat. The coordinates given by the superior are too remote. This was especially so for this small galaxy with a fixed star as the center. It was far away from the bustling interstellar civilization, and the distribution of the meteorite belt was so confusing that it felt like falling into the clouds. If it was not for the fact that there were intelligent planets behind the meteorite belt, the starships that passed by would definitely ignore this meteorite belt. Following the instructions of the superior, after the starship successfully jumped, the commander suddenly realized that his starship had been surrounded before he could relax for too long. Your Highness, the situation is not right. The commander is sweating profusely. The chubby prince finally stops eating. Looking at the screen showing that many starships have surrounded him, the prince finally realizes the seriousness of the situation. If he is not careful, he will die before he wins the battle. Hey, he didn't make a mistake? General Akuo, didn't you send a friendly signal in advance? The greeting is not like this. His Highness is chubby, but he is not stupid. General Akuo wants to cry. Your Highness, it turns out that we are here for a friendly visit? I thought you didn't say a word before, because you were going to make a sneak attack. How could you expose your whereabouts automatically? But looking at this dilapidated planet, it seems that you have made some preparations. General Akuo is deeply trusted by His Highness, so he naturally knows that His Highness is extremely unreasonable. He doesn't know if God has heard his prayer. The cabin door moves aside, and a beautiful woman in splendid clothes comes in surrounded by maids. His Highness curls his lips and turns his attention back to the chicken leg. Your Highness. Chapter 545. Mu Tiannan and Hu Lin are still playing the game of cat and mouse with the succubus in the 8th district of Moonstar. A huge starship has quietly passed through the defense of the federal government and arrived at the gap between the Earth and Moonstar. The federal government has never thought that it would be so easy to capture the enemy ship. After all, a starship that looks powerful is captured without any resistance. It is really weird. The federal government has been nervous because of the visit of Bape Alliance. It captured the enemy ship but didn't make it public. The poor prince and his princess are both under guard. No matter how he claims to be a friendly envoy, no one in the federal government believes him. The guards are waiting for him. They say that if he continues to clamor, they have to shut his mouth. The round prince is quiet for a while, and then he arrogantly makes an unreasonable request like, "Give me 10 servings of boiled fish." After being refused, he puts his ear and asks to see Mortal Heart Fairy. The guards can't avoid his unreasonable pestering. What a joke. They are also believers of Mortal Heart Fairy, and they also want to see Mortal Heart Fairy. However, it is not easy for ordinary people to have the chance to become immortals. The prince's pestering is unparalleled in the world. After his request to enjoy the food is refused, he no longer insists that he is an envoy. Instead, he denounces the guards for abusing the prisoners of war and threatens to expose the barbaric behavior of the Earth Federation. The guards doubted whether he could walk out of this place alive. Princess Shakina, whose patience had finally reached the breaking point, kicked him down. The round prince fell to the ground and could not get up. Princess Consort did not have any pity for him. She pulled off an exquisite carved jade necklace from his neck. If there is a chance, please give this to Mortal Heart Fairy. What we said will be confirmed. Whether it is a conspiracy or not, the request of this generous alien girl is much more reasonable than 10 servings of boiled fish. The jade emits a faint fragrance of medicine, which makes people feel refreshed immediately. The guards dare not touch it at will. They take a sealed metal box and put it in layers. Then they send the jade out. At dawn, Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji return from the Moonstar. After torturing the little succubus for a whole night, the Fox King, who has a beautiful face but a dark heart, finally feels a little angry about being teased. He takes the little succubus back to Dongting. Pang Xianzhong and others are sweating profusely. They spend most of the night checking the captured starship and finally confirm that it is the special starship of the distant Nami Alliance royal family. This is much more serious than offending Bape Alliance. Pang Xianzhong, who is steady, has to come to Mu Tiannan for advice. In the current situation, the people of the Nami Alliance under control have become a hot potato. Whether they are kept locked up or released immediately, it is easy to cause extremely bad political influence if they are not handled well. Hearing that it is the Nami Alliance, Huji wonders, is it a fat man? The specific information was quickly sent back. Although there was another commander on the starship at that time, the fatty's position was faintly superior. Pang Xianzhong nods stiffly, and Huji laughs. After seeing the sealed jade Linglong medicinal jade, Huji asks to see the fatty who is closely guarded. Seeing Pang Xianzhong frowning, Mu Tianren guesses that Huji must have met an acquaintance. He gives Huji a reassuring hint and asks Pang Xianzhong to arrange for Huji to see a prince of the Nami Alliance. The guards are all gone. It is so weird that the prince can't help but lean towards the princess. Shekina, do you think they are going to kill me? Shekina glances coldly at her husband, who is famous for being useless and cowardly. Without outsiders present, she doesn't bother to talk to him. The fatty snorted a couple of times. That was why he hated it the most when his royal sister had chosen a so-called noble princess for him. In front of others she looked the same, but behind others she would change her face. TSK, who would want to stick to her cold buttocks. The fatty's toughness suddenly collapses when the ethereal laughter rings in the empty guard room. No matter whether the princess thinks highly of him or not, he tightly grasps the last life-saving straw. Shekina, will you save me? After all, I am your husband. If I die, you can't remarry. It is said that the life of a widow is very miserable. The princess is almost out of breath because of him. She loses her mind for a moment. She thinks that being a widow is also a good choice. When she is considering whether to kick him to death, the laughter of the person hiding in the dark gradually becomes louder. The light suddenly turns on again. According to Nami Star's aesthetic standards, a young man with excellent temperament and amiable appearance stands outside the heavily secured guardhouse arc shield. He looks inside with interest at the two people who claim to be husband and wife. Judith, is this your wife? The young man's peach blossom eyes blink. Shekina feels that the air around her has a feeling of lack of oxygen. She bites the tip of her tongue to wake herself up from the illusion of charm. Shekina is very vigilant about this beautiful young man. Your Highness, do you know him? With an outsider present, Shekina becomes a well-educated lady from a noble family again. The fat man shakes his head in confusion. I seem to have heard the voice before, but I have never seen him. Huji chuckles. His voice is indescribably clear and moving. He decides to play with him. He stops smiling and says with a straight face, the Earth Federation has given me the right to deal with you. Let's go. Follow me. Huji crooks his finger at Judith. The fat man finds that he actually easily passes through the arc cage and regains his freedom. Shekina has never seen such a trick before. She doesn't plan to do anything for the time being. Anyway, this young man is so powerful that he doesn't need to use other methods to kill them. Shekina is also secretly relieved that their lives are safe. She is not a naive girl who knows nothing about the world. She knows that even in the Nami Alliance, there are many uncivilized planets. If something really happens to them on the strange and remote Earth, even if the Nami Alliance destroys the small planet to avenge them, they can't see or feel it. Therefore, Shekina doesn't plan to confront them head-on from the beginning. Huji takes them into Dongting City and deliberately looks at the fat man with a cold face. The fat man is racking his brains along the way to think about where he has heard the young man's voice. He doesn't notice that he and Shekina are taken to a villa area. The gentle lake breeze makes the willow leaves on the lake bank shake gently. It also blows away the irritation in Shekina's heart. There are several small buildings hidden among the green trees and flowers that bloom all 4 seasons. For the first time, she is satisfied with the ruined earth. April is the warmest season of the year. With the recovery of the vegetation near Dongting in the past few years, the 4 seasons in the area covered by the Dragon King seal have gradually become distinct. A small cycle has been formed. There is no need to artificially create the 4 seasons anymore. This is a kind of affirmation for the efforts of Lin Luoran and others. In the courtyard of the 4 paths, Baojia is testing her new flying sword. She casually twirls the sword. When she raises her long and narrow eyes, she is indescribably heroic and dazzling. Shekina secretly applauds. What a beautiful woman. Her Reiki can't be ignored. Feeling that someone is peeping at her, Baojia suddenly changes the sword spell. The flying sword blasts to where Huji is. Huji is so scared that he is in a cold sweat. Sister Baojia, I didn't offend you. After regaining her memory, Baojia is more domineering. She soon subdues King Huji. From time to time, she flirts with Huji. Huji runs away in panic all day. He admits defeat and calls Baojia sister respectfully. Baojia commands the flying sword to bully Huji. She laughs and says, I asked you to deal with the goblin. It took you so long. Why did you bring back a fat man? Although the fatty looked familiar, the fat man bursts into tears. He didn't know Ms. Nolan, the jewelry designer of the royal family. However, after Lin Luoran came to Nami and made such a big scene, he should know her. What Judith doesn't expect is that Ms. Nolan doesn't remember him at all. After all, Ms. Nolan personally made the crown for his adulthood ceremony. Feeling that his existence is not as famous as he imagined in Nami Star, the fat man is depressed at once, until he sees Lin Luoran, who hears Huji's voice outside, and comes out to check. The fat man instantly finds his home like an abandoned puppy. Dear Lin. The fat man makes an excited tremor, and flies in the direction of Lin Luoran. Seeing a moving fat man rushing to him, Mu Tiannan, who comes out later, feels cold all over. The slow fat man turns a blind eye to it, and hugs Lin Luoran tightly. Lin Luoran is surprised and delighted by his pitiful puppy-like expression. Judith, why are you here? Judith shook his fat waist after they parted and complained. Dear Lin, I heard that your hometown was caught in the chaos of war. The brave Prince Judith came to save the beauty from thousands of miles away. But the people in your hometown are too unfriendly, boo-hoo. The first half of the fat man's words still moves Lin Luoran. However, in the second half, the fat man shouts the names of dishes such as braised pork and boiled fish. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. It is Huji who cleverly explains the reason. Lin Luoran knows that the fat man's mischief has led the Federation to judge Nami's starship as an enemy attack. The fat man loves to eat, but he is not completely stupid. He knows that it will be difficult for Lin Luoran to confront the Federation directly, so he orders them to be captured in a cooperative manner. However, Nami's starship comes at the right time. The Bape Alliance is ready to take action. The Federation is willing to kill 100 innocent people to lock up all the people of the Nami Alliance. After listening to Huji, Lin Luoran turns to look at Mu Tiannan. Mu Tiannan chuckles. The other members of the Nami Alliance have also been released. I'm afraid that Prince Judith has to comfort them personally, before they can be completely at ease. Shekina, who had been invisible all the time, stood up gracefully and said, I'll explain it to General Akuo. Lin Luoran and others all stare at Judith. The fat man introduces embarrassedly. This is my sister's new wife. His royal sister married her for him. Not because he wanted to? This statement is very imaginative. Lin Luoran sees that Shekina's expression is still decent, but her eyes are slightly dim. She feels that Judith's statement is too disrespectful. Lin Luoran says that she must give them gifts. However, Judith rolls his eyes and adds recklessly, Why is Sister Weia not here? I brought her a lot of gifts. Lin Luoran sees the fierce look in Shekina's eyes. She secretly curses Judith for having such a strange brain structure. On the other side, Han Weia turns the half-moon gate and appears in front of everyone. After 10 years, she has lost her childishness and can take charge of things on her own. She hides her weakness and adorableness in her performance. Her whole person is like a polished sapphire, and her watery eyes are particularly attractive. Judith stares at Sister Weia in a daze. Lin Luoran touches her forehead and says nothing. Damn it. She didn't know that the fat man was interested in Han Weia at all. He even chased her to the Earth Federation. But he also took the princess with him. What is going on? Mu Tiannan sees that she frowns. It's rare to see that she is so cute. Mu Tiannan's eyes soften a lot. Let the young people solve their own problems. Lin Luoran can't help but nod. After Mu Tiannan slips away, she remembers what he said. Is she really old? Lin Luoran is struggling with the sentence, the young people. Bape Alliance is also struggling. The negotiation is not going well. The members of the visiting group fall asleep on the first night. After waking up, they do some scandals such as molesting federal female staff. These scandals are also filmed and broadcasted by accompanying reporters who do not belong to Bape Alliance. General Gott's public speech is full of emotion and his personal style is better than before. However, his attitude towards the Earth Federation has changed. He is no longer in favor of the Alliance using force against the Earth Federation. He used to talk about the benefits of conquering the Earth. The secret of longevity, with conclusive evidence, makes Bape Alliance and Alok break the covenant and insist on going their own way. Now he completely overturns his previous words. After confirming that General Gott is physically and mentally normal and is not held hostage, Bape Alliance is very annoyed by his inconsistent words. Sutherland. It is obvious that Gott will lose power in the future. However, the arrow of Bape Alliance is on the string. Bape Alliance also hesitates whether to shoot or not. It is this short hesitation that brings an opportunity to the Earth Federation. The next day, Windsor, the second heir of the royal family of Nami Alliance, which ranks the top 5 in Hanoi, Prince Judith and his dignified concubine Shekinah, make a public speech on the interstellar TV. They thank mortal Heart Fairy for her selfless help to the Nami royal family and convey Windsor, who officially succeeded the throne the year before last. Queen Xian misses her best friend and hopes that the Earth Federation can be cautious and accept the title of honorary member star, awarded by Nami Alliance. Prince Judith is witty and his gestures show the magnificent demeanor of the Nami royal family, which has been passed down for thousands of years. Nami Alliance ranks the top 5 in Hanoi in terms of strength. Whether it is the destroyed Alpha regime, the current Bape Alliance, or even other alliances in Hanoi who have received the news, they are all very curious about the relationship between the Earth Federation and Nami Alliance. Compared with other alliances, the Nami royal family is superior to the alliance government. In the eyes of outsiders, the Nami royal family is backward and xenophobic. It is difficult for other alliances to establish a relationship with the Nami royal family. Bape Alliance's deployment is disrupted, and it almost vomits blood. Do they still want to fight against the Earth Federation? Idiot. Do they want to kill the second heir of the Nami royal family? Bape Alliance soon finds that this is just the beginning of bad luck. Chapter 546. The goblin caught by Hu Ji has been tortured by Hu Ji's illusion circle for a whole night. It is almost crazy and has completely lost its previous cunning. Mu Tianen locks it up and plans to squeeze its last value. As for General Gott, who returns to Bape Alliance, Liao is a puppet made of spirit bamboo. It doesn't know many words, and it doesn't have the ability to think. It is too far away to command. No matter how vivid it is, it will be exposed sooner or later. However, Lin Luoran and others are not afraid of being exposed. Mu Tiannan's bloodline club has already planted some spies in the dark. There is no need to replace politicians with puppets. Lin Luoran feels that proper exposure can give Bape Alliance a warning. Liao can replace Gott Sutherland with puppets. Of course, he can also replace them with puppets. Lin Luoran has an evil thought that the war hero who often appears in public on the radio can be replaced under the watchful eyes of the public. At that time, some important officials will feel very subtle. Liao's ability has been successfully put into use. Recently, he can walk with his chest straight, which eliminates a lot of wretchedness. Therefore, as soon as Lin Luoran comes to him, Liao's self-confidence is inflated. He agrees to do something big with Lin Luoran without thinking. Mu Tianen sees the two of them board the starship and leave. He shakes his head repeatedly. Bape Alliance is afraid of the relationship between the Earth Federation and the Nami royal family. Artillery has no eyes, so it doesn't dare to blow up Judith on the Earth. However, for an alliance, every battle has been planned in advance, and they have made great efforts. If they don't try, how can they simply give up because of the prince of the Nami royal family? After all, Nami's star territory is on the other side of the distant starry sky. Will they easily launch a time-consuming and costly war in the distant starry sky just for a prince? Even in the era of the big universe, the negative mass, used to open wormholes and stabilize channels, can be made by human beings, but the cost is extremely high. War, no matter in the backward era of cold weapons, the modern era of hot weapons, or even the interstellar showdown, still consumes a lot of money. Bape Alliance's current situation is like using the secret of longevity as bait. It spends the shareholders' investment first. Now it doesn't get any dividends. How can the shareholders agree? Some people wanted to give up, but there were even more crazy war maniacs who didn't have the word give up in their dictionary. When the war suddenly breaks out, Liao and Lin Luoran disappear. The people of the Federation, who were still asleep, felt a slight shake. Some people thought it was an earthquake. The buildings of the new era were very resistant to earthquakes. Many people were relieved and went back to sleep. Then a shrill alarm sounded. The dragon's sovereign seal could block the attack, but it could not block the light. As long as one looked up, those UFO-like airships with red flames lit up the night sky as if it was daytime. The nightmare from more than 300 years ago had descended once again. The difference was that it was a one-sided massacre 300 years ago. Earth was unprepared and could only resist stubbornly, paying an exceptionally heavy price. 300 years later, the Federation endured the humiliation and actively rebuilt, accumulating strength bit by bit. The halo of Colonial Star, that had shrouded the heads of generations of people, had become the driving force for the development of the people of the Federation. Compared to more than 300 years ago, the Earth Federation had a sturdy defense shield. It had the resources and technology that the great merchants had exchanged for hundreds of years. It also had the support of several great cultivators. More importantly, compared with the one-sided massacre before the new era, they had rebuilt their faith and had the confidence to fight against the Bape Alliance. The Earth Federation was still very weak and immature. It was like duckweed dust floating in the vast universe. It had to go through this war in order to be reborn from the fire, and really stand firm in the era of the big universe. Come on, let's fight. Wuxia reopened the Green Mountains world. Monsters came out of Weifang one after another. The dead energy floating in the air made the monsters feel refreshed. King Hu said that if they won this war, they would enjoy real freedom. The Nine-Tailed Fox clan will surrender the beautiful Green Mountains world to them. The monsters living in this world would become the real masters of the Green Mountains. The acacia tree monster came out. Compared with the thick-skinned monsters, her plant body was relatively fragile. However, when Shisandra woke up, she found that the planet where they had lived for a long time had become a waste star full of bullet marks. It was better to stay in the Lost Land before, let alone come out with Jiangshang. Thinking of the past, she was as indifferent as Shisandra. Her face also showed a touch of softness. That was the happiest time in her life. She and her companion, Shisandra, had agreed to live in seclusion in the Lost Land. A few years later, a rash Taoist broke in and disrupted their peaceful life. Later, she changed back to her original body and fell into a deep sleep. Shisandra must blame the little Taoist. However, it was her choice. From the beginning to the end, what did it have to do with others? A cold silver-gray mecha interrupted Shisandra's memory. It was impossible to destroy Dragon King Seal from the air. Bape Alliance put its main force on Mecha. It was ready to disintegrate the defense of the 10 defense cities and Dongting City on land. It wanted to break through from the inside and take down the so-called City of Faith. The dark muzzle of the mecha was aimed at the strangely dressed Earthlings whose gender could not be recognized. The next moment, the Alliance soldier operating the mecha found that the Earthlings disappeared in front of him. A feather gently fell on the cold shoulder of the mecha. It was a light yellow velvet flower with a sweet fragrance. The yellow velvet flower covered the mecha. It was said that the mecha could filter poisonous gas. However, it could not isolate the faint fragrance. The operator in the mecha fell asleep inexplicably. Wuxia patted the unresponsive mecha and gave a thumbs up to Shisandra. As soon as Shisandra took action, the sky was filled with light yellow velvet flower. The scene was beautiful, and there was no smell of blood at all. All captured prisoners of war were alive, and the mecha was not damaged at all. Other monsters were much more barbaric. Some monsters teased the Alliance army with their brains like lark. However, most of them just rushed around and made the surface of the mecha uneven. When the Alliance soldiers inside were pulled out, they were either covered with blood or missing arms and legs. It was very bloody. Monsters did not pay attention to rules when they fought. Sometimes they did not gain anything. However, When you thought you had figured out their habits and set a 100% flawless trap, these monsters did not have to go through the trap. If you couldn't defeat them, you would escape. There was probably no such thing as shame in people's minds. Bape Alliance would soon have a headache because of such a group of rogue, monster army. Every time the Earth Federation escorted trophies and prisoners of war, it would make a public announcement to give people enough confidence so that they would believe that the city under the Dragon King seal was impregnable. Half a month after the war started, Bape Alliance helped the Earth Federation to eliminate many mutant monsters in the wild and took over a large area of uninhabited areas. However, it did not shake the foundation of the Earth Federation. Compared with Bape Alliance's efforts, it was not proportional to the harvest. The secret of longevity was not only in the so-called cultivation method. The key point seemed to be related to the Earth, this remote planet, and the Earthlings who were born and raised there. The Alpha Alliance was defeated, and Bape Alliance was in Got Sutherland. With the help of Got Sutherland, they got the top-secret information one step ahead of Alok Alliance. Some items used by cultivators, various ancient books on personal ability enhancement, data of countless ordinary people dissected, and even the information of several low-rank cultivators they had captured. Mu Tiannan finally escaped from the goblin's mouth. It has been half a month since Lin Luoran and Liao left the Earth. If the vivisection data obtained by Bape Alliance is the sin of the defeated and disintegrated Alpha Alliance, then the last words of the goblin are enough to make Mu Tiannan tremble. The spy buried by the Alpha Alliance in Dongting City is the analysis of the news sent back before the Alliance was defeated. Colin Weir, a native Kaiser, has now learned some means of cultivators. This is the important basis for Bape Alliance to overthrow the old conclusion that humans other than Earthlings can't become cultivators and launch a war. He has also heard Lin Luoran mention building the Taoist route for Colin. At that time, Lin Luoran must be selfish, but Colin was also willing to be a test subject. If the Alpha Alliance got the news, it must be when they built the 10 defense cities. At that time, several young people in the family were independent, and Colin often appeared in front of people. Mu Tiannan suddenly has a bad feeling. On a passenger spaceship of Bape Alliance, Lin Luoran is not used to the method of changing appearance taught by Liao. She now looks like a real Bape. Her dark brown skin and sunken eyes make her look inconspicuous. Liao still has a red nose. At this moment, he and Lin Luoran stay in the two-person ordinary cabin of the passenger spaceship, ready to go to the main star of Bape Alliance. Interstellar alliances are often named after the most powerful planets in the alliance. Just like the Nami Alliance, Bape Alliance is also named after Bape Star. Different from the low-key Nami royal family, the main star of Bape has a large administrative area with more than a dozen auxiliary stars. The fake identities fabricated by Lin Luoran and Liao are perfect. They are still allowed to land on Bape Star after many layers of checks. It was a large planet with an azure hue. There are several planets around it. From a distance, it looks like a bright sapphire inlaid on a black cloth. When the Earth was photographed from space, it was also blue and beautiful. However, it was because 70% of the Earth was covered by water. On the other hand, Bape Star shines because its buildings are mostly blue. It is as charming as a good sapphire. Bape people respect blue, and they like a kind of blue liquid extracted from plants. Biological analysis shows that the tradition left from ancient times is not groundless. The substance extracted from the blue mountain vines is extremely beneficial to the human body. For a long time, Bape people, with their excellent physique and outstanding wisdom, became the first star in the star zone to step out of their home planet and become an interstellar civilization. With this advantage, Bape people have been strong to this day. Many planets with scientific and technological civilizations often get lost in the pursuit of foreign things. They ignore that the evolution of the human body itself is the driving force of all scientific and technological productivity. Bape people are somewhat stubborn and firmly believe that without their ancestors taking the blue mountain vine liquid, they would not be able to get to where they are today step by step. This is the reason why Bape people are more interested in the so-called secret of longevity than the Alpha Alliance. In the view of the high-level leaders of Bape, If the brilliant cultivation civilization on the earth is really as prosperous as recorded in the books, they can't figure out what is stopping such a group of powerful individuals who have mastered the art of controlling the wind and rain from hiding on a remote planet and ignoring the vast universe. Earth cultivators lack the drive to make progress, which makes them jealous of the path of individual strengthening. It is also the reason why the earth has fallen to the point where it can be bullied at will. Now that they know that people without the blood of the earth can also cultivate, Bape people are even more determined to get the small earth. When Lin Luoran and Liao left, they didn't know that the enemy had known the truth about Colin. If she could know what Bape people are thinking, she would definitely sneer back. Half a month ago, when they left, the war had not yet started. At that time, she just wanted to give Bape people some deterrence. On the way, she woke up with the news. If she didn't make up her mind, the earth would be in danger. Lin Luoran and Liao sneak into Bape's main star. Lin Luoran carefully looks at the map and finds the area where blue mountain vines are planted. Plants like blue mountain vines can only grow in a limited geographical environment on Bape's main star. No matter how similar the simulated indoor cultivation site is, the blue mountain vines only look good and have lost their most important function. Bape Alliance also has drugs like gene enhancement fluid. The most important substance is blue mountain vine fluid. Since they understand the importance of blue mountain vines, they value this species so much that it can be regarded as a national treasure. After knowing the importance of blue mountain vines, Lin Luoran decides to give Bape people a little surprise. Of course, before Bape Alliance officially declared war on the earth, Lin Luoran's main purpose was to deter them. Now she plans to do it for real. She and Liao sneak into a blue mountain vine plantation. The abundance of Reiki here makes Lin Luoran a little jealous. Artificial planting can never be compared with wild growth. Artificial laboratories can analyze the composition of soil and air humidity, but they can't artificially produce Reiki. As soon as Lin Luoran examines this kind of vine, she knows that its special feature is that it can keep the Reiki it contains without extracting the juice like a cultivator. Under normal circumstances, this is a very rare characteristic. No wonder Bape people attach great importance to it. What a waste! Liao looks at the blue mountain vines all over the mountains with a painful expression on his face. He righteously condemns Bape Alliance's rough extraction method. Lin Luoran is angry when she sees that the place where blue mountain vines are planted is full of Reiki. She plans to let Sacred Pearl eat and absorb all the Reiki. Hearing Liao's words, she changes her mind. Uncle Liao, do you have a way to harvest all the blue mountain vines here in an instant without alarming Bape people? Liao smiles. It's shameful to waste. Watch me. He makes a very strange Taoist gesture, and the blue mountain vines twist by themselves. From a distance, it looks like the leaves are shaking in the wind. Only Lin Luoran can feel that the blue mountain vines are beating at a strange frequency. After the time it takes for a stick of incense to burn, Liao nods and smiles. Come here. The syllables he makes are the same as the beating frequency of the blue mountain vines. Lin Luoran opens her mouth wide. The blue mountain vines pull out their roots from the soil and rush towards Liao. Lin Luoran retreats quickly. Liao stands there and is submerged by the hill-like blue mountain vines. When he shakes his clothes and appears again, the hill-like blue mountain vines disappear in an instant. He has put them away. Lin Luoran gives him a thumbs up. Compared with his storage space, she thinks Liao's trick can definitely kill all pretentious people. Damn it, she has never seen a plant without intelligence that can pull itself out of the soil and run to the enemy. Lin Luoran has the listening spell, and she can feel how happy the blue mountain vines are. They are definitely crazy. Facing Lin Luoran's undisguised admiration, Liao is rarely humble. It's just a small trick. In the past, Qi trainers used to use this trick to keep the spirit medicine happy. Lin Luoran's face stiffens. What era is Liao talking about? Those Qi trainers must be so cool. Refining medicine also needs to keep the spirit medicine happy. Even if she can listen to the voice of all things, she is not sure that she can coax the spirit medicine to come to their death. Hurry up. Even if the blue mountain vines come to their death without complaint, the bare hilltop is too obvious. Liao points to the bare ground. Lin Luoran understands. With a thought, Sacred Pearl is allowed to eat to its heart's content for the first time. It has been suffering for many years. For the first time, it can sing and eat happily. Reiki swarms in. Lin Luoran's gathering vitality middle period has just been stabilized. She doesn't dare to overeat and absorb so much Reiki again. All the Reiki will benefit the Sacred Pearl. The blue mountain vines are stolen in a short time. It's reasonable that Bape people can't supervise them properly. However, such a large-scale Reiki fluctuation will disturb various meteorological data. Bape Alliance soon finds something abnormal. When the garrison arrives with airships, Lin Luoran giggles while listening to the four monsters in space cheering. She feels the huge changes caused by the abundance of Reiki in space. Seeing more and more airships above their heads, Liao is speechless to Lin Luoran, who is giggling foolishly. He separates the soil layer with one hand. Before the attack, he takes Lin Luoran and disappears. I haven't finished absorbing it yet. Lin Luoran feels a little regretful. Liao rolls his eyes. Why didn't the bitch who gave her the Sacred Pearl tell her about the behavior of plundering the planet's Reiki? There must be a limit. Because he is talking about a bitch in his heart, he feels a chill on his back inexplicably. He complains that the influence of a bitch is everywhere. Liao has to explain to Lin Luoran the inevitable connection between Reiki and planet, plundering, and karma. Lin Luoran is a little enlightened. You mean cultivation is fighting against fate, but it is not against the law of nature. Plundering the Reiki of a planet is actually creating a lot of killing? Liao nods. Reiki is the vitality of a planet. If Lin Luoran doesn't leave any room and extracts the vitality of the planet, the species living on the planet, no matter plants or animals, naturally can't survive. It is no different from killing all the lives on the planet with her own hands. Lin Luoran feels good for a while. When the divinization doom comes, even if someone protects her, Lin Luoran's small body will inevitably be smashed into pieces by heaven's doom. Lin Luoran understands that Liao is right. She just needs to do some damage. If she wants to destroy the vitality of the Bape star fundamentally, she will have to bear the consequences. Liao's escape skill is really amazing. They walk underground. Lin Luoran only feels that her feet are supported by the power of the earth element. She can walk freely underground. Because of her clear sight, she can occasionally find some precious refining minerals and some Reiki materials growing deep underground. Although the Bape Alliance is vigilant, the blue mountain vines everywhere are all stolen by the two rats. This year's blue mountain vines have no harvest, and the Bape government is furious. They still don't know that Reiki has been absorbed by Lin Luoran. Not only this year, but also for many years in the future, the blue mountain vines they want are doomed to have no harvest. Before Liao disappears, he wretchedly leaves a V gesture in front of the camera. In the council building where the most powerful people on the main star of Bape are concentrated, people tacitly break several cups on the same day. General, we can at least be sure that the female cultivator called Mortal Heart Fairy by the Earthlings has come to the Bape star. The real leader of the military, an old man of Bape with brown skin and light blue hair, nods. His skin is also slightly blue. It is because he has taken too much high-level blue mountain vines extract, so he has a longer lifespan and physique than others. A soldier pushes the door and comes in. General Sutherland. General Gott has returned to Bape Star half an hour ago. Our people have already controlled him. The general stands up, and all kinds of badges and honors hanging on his left chest tremble slightly. Let's go. Let's see the means of the earth cultivators. How did they control the young General Gott? Walking on the busiest street of the Bape Star, Liao sneezes hard. It's strange. Who is speaking ill of me behind my back? Liao murmurs and looks at Lin Luoran. Are you really going to let them go? Lin Luoran nods. It is not the first time we have done this. Do you want me to drown a city? Liao shakes his head again and again. He knows that the man in robe gave her a water droplet necklace. Crushing a water droplet can drown a city. It is the snow flood that almost destroyed the Green Mountains world. Chapter 547. Many years later, the chaos of Bape Alliance is still talked about by other alliances who don't like its behavior. Lin Luoran and Liao walk all the way, releasing more than one dead energy. When they break out at the same time, the dense dead energy after compression has already caused an unknown virus to break out on several planets in the star territory of Bape Alliance. Instruments can't analyze the cause of the virus. The symptoms are that the infected people are weak. In just a few days, they become emaciated and dying. In fact, it's just the dead energy invading the human body. On a planet with a good natural environment like Bape Star, Bape people who are invaded by the dead energy can recover within half a month without any treatment. However, only Lin Luoran and Liao know this. Bape Alliance relies on instruments for everything. It is not easy to detect unknown substances in the human body. How can they understand the mysterious dead energy? The Marshal, who loves power and wants to live a long life, sees Got Sutherland with his own eyes. He is shocked when he sees Got Sutherland becomes a bamboo doll. What kind of sophisticated technology is that? It seems to be no different from the top-end biological robot of the Alliance. It is also hard to tell whether it is real or fake. However, it is not made of metal but ordinary bamboo. The old Marshal is shocked by the means of Earth cultivators, and then he is frightened. Earth cultivators can quietly replace a young general of the Alliance with a bamboo man. Does it mean that they can replace any member of Bape Alliance with a puppet? This kind of thing happens to the fence-sitter whom the Marshal doesn't like, Got Sutherland. He can feel the shock from Got Sutherland. However, if it happens to him, the consequences will be unimaginable. Before the old Marshal comes to his senses, the virus breaks out. Lin Luoran is wearing a red dress, and the hem of her dress is flying in the air. The picture quickly spreads. What she says is that she will make anyone who offends her home planet, the Earth, unable to sleep well at night. The strongest alloy of Bape Alliance can't stop cultivators. When she says this, she is holding the latest alloy developed by Bape Alliance in her hand. It is supposed to be used in the most high-end starship. The data is still being verified in the laboratory. However, Lin Luoran can easily get it. The Marshal sees the number on the alloy plate captured by the camera. He knows that she is holding the only metal plate in the laboratory. Compared with the alloy plate slowly turning into a pool of molten iron under Lin Luoran's palm, the old Marshal cares more about the fact that the laboratory where Lin Luoran takes out the alloy is an important place guarded by the Alliance. How does she know the specific location? How does she get the metal plate quietly? These questions were like a taut spring rope, tightening around the Marshal's heart. The secrets of the Alliance could be easily seen through. Just like what she said, no matter how big the world was, who could stop her? The Marshal didn't know that an organization like the Vampire Club had instigated a certain powerful figure to betray them, and that it wasn't difficult for them to learn the location of a laboratory that seemed mysterious to outsiders. It is time to use the big net carefully made by Mutian-nan. He will not be stingy. What happens next is very much like a melodramatic 8 o'clock drama. Bape Alliance leads Lin Luoran to a remote planet to ambush and trap her. Then they claim to have captured the omnipotent, mortal heart fairy, in the hearts of Earthlings. They want to use this as a breakthrough point to distract the people of the Earth Federation. Their so-called indestructible city of faith will naturally collapse by itself. Then they threaten Lin Luoran with the safety of the Earth Federation. The so-called secret of longevity is easy to get. This is a perfect opportunity. The remote planet is full of sand. Whether it can trap her or not, as long as Bape Alliance keeps Lin Luoran on it, she certainly can't cross the star territory and return to the Earth in time without any help. When Lin Luoran gets out of trouble and returns, Bape Alliance has already controlled the Earth. Lin Luoran is afraid of them. She is unwilling to be controlled by them. Everything goes well. When the picture of Mortal Heart Fairy being captured is broadcasted on interstellar TV, the hearts of the Federation people are really shaken. That is the darkest day of the Seal of Dragon King. Under the attack of the people and Bape Alliance, it is on the verge of collapse. During that time, the prince's hazy love is defeated. For the first time he sets his eyes on Princess Shakina. When Dongting is in danger, Shakina orders General Akuo to tie Judith up on the spaceship and take him away from the Earth Federation. Judith is extremely angry. He scolds Shekinah as a cold-blooded aristocrat who disregards friendship. While scolding, the prince cries miserably. Judith, who has never suffered any setbacks, thought that Bape Alliance would have scruples because of him. However, he didn't expect that people are evil. In front of tempting interests, most people will lose their minds and choose to take risks out of desperation. Even his sister Queen Windsor is in the Earth Federation. Without absolute force, Bape Alliance will not be lenient when it is time to open fire. When he is tired of scolding, Shekinah shows a sarcastic smile. Your Royal Highness, no one will accuse you of abandoning your friend to escape. You and I are husband and wife. I will stay for you and face the gunfire of Bape Alliance with your friends. Judith is completely stunned. General Akuo's eyes are full of undisguised admiration for the princess. When the cabin slowly closes, Judith shouts, Shekinah, are you crazy? I won't like you even if you do this. Get on the ship and let me get off. The last expression Shekinah leaves to Judith is very complicated. She thinks the prince is really childish and cute. Since it is a marriage, Queen Windsor gets what she wants, a generous sister-in-law, and Shekinah's family gets the benefits they want. Who will care about whether there is love in her marriage with Judith? Even at the beginning of the marriage, there was a time when she was moved by Judith's simplicity and honesty. Judith has no interest in her, and Shekinah's pride does not allow her to be a duplicitous woman. What she was doing now was not because of love, but because she was a qualified princess and she had to fulfill her duty. Shekinah watches the spaceship go away. Han Weiya suddenly stands behind her. If something happens to you on the Earth, the fatty will definitely regret it. Shekinah raises her eyebrows. Don't you know that he likes you? Han Weiya smiles. I know. But you also know that the person I like is not the fatty. When it comes to secret love, except for Uncle Mu who has a bright future, no one knows better than her. When she was young, she fell in love with an important politician who often came to her home. At that time, her face was ruined, and she was self-abased and sensitive. He had a wife who had accompanied him all the way since he was in decline. No one knows better than Han Weiya how humble and cautious he was when he had a secret love. She tried every means to inquire about him. As a junior, she created many accidental encounters. In order to see him, she was willing to wear a veil and muster up the courage to appear in public. That year, she also chased him from Moonstar to Dongting just for his speech at the dinner party in the city hall. Unexpectedly, her fate changed dramatically because of that night. Later, she followed Aunt Lin to travel among the stars. She restored her appearance, and even embarked on the road of personal ability enhancement. The inferiority complex in her youth was defeated. Ma Shuangshuang said that she was completely new in both appearance and temperament, which was enough to make anyone look at her. She wondered if she could finally appear in front of him openly, regardless of anything else, as long as she could pour out her unextinguished love. If she was not a cultivator but still the daughter of a businessman, Han Weiya would not have the courage. She remembers that day when she sneaked out and wandered in front of the Pang family's yard. Mrs. Pang was old and beautiful. She looked more than 10 years older than the elegant Mr. Pang. She was really an old woman. Because the two alliances declared war on Alpha, Mr. Pang moved his old wife back to Dongting City. Han Weiya visited as a junior. Mrs. Pang probably heard that she was now on the road of personal ability enhancement, so she was very polite to her. Han Weiya still remembered that when she was a child, Mr. Pang and his wife were frequent guests of the Han family. In her impression, Mrs. Pang was not beautiful but elegant. How could she get old so fast? Han Weiya was concerned euphemistically. Mrs. Pang complained with a smile. Since Mr. Pang's position became higher and higher, she had never had a good night's sleep. It seemed to be an ordinary sentence, but Han Weiya could tell that the couple supported each other. In the end, she almost ran away. She fell in love with the elegant and graceful Mr. Pang in public. However, she never thought that such a calm politician was accompanied by a woman who took care of his trifles impeccably. That was why he gradually had today's temperament. Mr. Pang's perfection came from Mrs. Pang's silent efforts. She fell in love with this perfect appearance and thought she could match it now. However, she was defeated by Mrs. Pang's words, "I have never had a good night's sleep." Mr. Pang's every appearance was impeccable, which made women like her fall in love with him. However, his wife who couldn't sleep at night was the hand of God that made Mr. Pang. Han Weiya was ashamed of her selfishness. Compared with the husband and wife who accompanied her all the way, Han Weiya's secret love actually tried to hurt Mrs. Pang openly. From then on, when she saw Mr. Pang again, her heart would beat abnormally and Mrs. Pang's old face would always appear in front of her. Han Weiya never thought about confessing again. Even 10 years later, when she saw Mr. Pang with gray hair on his temples, the feeling of her heart beating was still as strong as before. She just kept the right distance and called him Uncle Pang. Ma Shuangshuang said that one day they would all leave the earth with Aunt Lin and go to the fertile land of personal ability enhancement. Han Weiya thought that might be the best choice for her. Shikina waved her hand in front of her. You said it was a crisis in Dongting. I don't think you are too worried. Han Weiya comes to herself and smiles calmly. That's because you don't know Aunt Lin. As soon as Judith left, Shikina didn't feel awkward when facing Han Weiya again. The princess pestered Han Weiya to tell her about Lin Luoran. As an oracle, Lu Qingdai had been stabilizing the people. She once said publicly that if something really happened to mortal Heart Fairy, would Dragon King Dharmasil be safe and sound? The Earth Federation immediately stood up and insisted that the video was fake. With the imaging technology of Bape Alliance, the speculation of the Earth Federation was well-founded. Bape Alliance was so angry that it vomited blood. They did forge videos and intercept information in the past. Every time, they were flawless and played a key role in the war. But this time the video was real. However, it was said to be fake. It was so frustrating. Bape Alliance was so angry that they said that when Dongting City was broken, they would see if their mortal Heart Fairy would appear. The siblings of the Ma family and Colin were a little worried. Hu Ji's monster army had also suffered a lot recently. Only Mu Tiannan was still very calm. Of course she will come back. Hu Ji was not very worried about Lin Luoran's safety. How could Lin Luoran be in danger with the old man Liao? He didn't want Lin Luoran to rebuild the earth because he hated the covenant made by the man Liao mentioned and Lin Luoran. However, if he didn't want the covenant to be realized because of his selfishness, what about Lin Luoran's efforts to protect the earth? Hu Ji was very confused. When Lin Luoran returned, the earth would really be defeated. Of course, the so-called covenant would be broken by itself. However, the young man felt that he couldn't face Lin Luoran's disappointed eyes at that time. The beautiful young man hesitated for a while. In the end, he decided to solve some annoying starships in person. Mu, are you going or not? King Hu might as well tell you something. You have been guarding the earth for 100 years. When Linny really completes the reconstruction, a big hand that you can't resist suddenly pops out and takes her away. Won't you cry to death? Mu Tiannan laughed. How can you understand the mood of adults, little boy? Let's go. I know what you want to do. Let's go together. If you like a person, you will stubbornly keep her by your side. If you love a person, you will respect her choice. After knowing Lin Luoran for so many years, Mu Tiannan knows very well that once Lin Luoran makes up her mind, no one can stop her. She is an independent woman and will not be influenced by others. He only does what he should do. If that day comes and she is willing to leave with someone, Mu Tiannan feels that he has no right to stop her. Baojia kicks the door open and sneers with a flying sword in her hand. Little fox, you actually want to leave me? Hu Ji's eyes are full of tears. Who can tell him why Qin Baojia, as a woman, can be so strong? Linny has a bad temper. She must have been influenced by Qin Baojia too much in the past. But come on, Sister Baojia, you haven't even reached the gathering vitality period. If something happens, how can I explain it to Linny? Baojia's narrow eyes are shining with belligerence. It's not her style to hide in the city and be beaten. When the three of them successfully board the starship of the Bape Alliance under the cover of the sacrifice of the Federal spaceship, the unscrupulous trio brings unforgettable pain to the Bape Alliance for 100 years. Hu Ji is from the nine-tailed fox family. He hates showing his three views the most. Mu Tiannan is a playboy in the School of Darkness. He has been suppressing his hostility for hundreds of years. When he is angry, he really wants to suck all the soldiers of the Bape Alliance. Well, he promises Lin Luoran that he will not suck blood anymore. He has to hold it back. As for Qin Baojia, she says silently in her heart, Commander Qin, look at me now. I'm not soft on killing people. Heaven's doom is just like Huji's 3 views. In Qin Baojia's opinion, how much is it worth? When Lin Luoran returns to the Earth with Liao and the Nami Alliance army, they meet on the way. She is greeted by a big scuffle. How chaotic is it? The starships of the Bape Alliance are crazy, attacking their own people. The Earth Federation takes advantage of the situation and quietly leads the battlefield to other open areas. It's okay to have internal strife, but don't keep fighting in the sky above the Earth. We really don't want to see the free fireworks anymore. Mortal Heart Fairy is back. A sharp-eyed person finds it first. In the hustle and bustle, the Bape Alliance feels that the Dragon King seal is once again indestructible. The commander of the Bape Alliance is mad. The old marshal vowed that he trapped Lin Luoran on a remote planet. Then who is the woman who appears at this moment? If he can question Liao, Liao will be happy to answer him. Puppets are really a necessity for home travel and digging pits to bury people. Of course, with Liao who can travel freely, the world will be under his control. What is Liao doing now? He is holding a superb defensive dome that he smuggled in, and waiting for all the attacks that fall on him to be bounced back. Hey, I have passed the great heaven's doom. If I don't do this, how can I show the demeanor of a master? Liao hides his power very well. Lin Luoran has never seen what he looks like when he really fights. In his words, he doesn't allow her to show the strength of the divinization period. Any attack will ruin the image of Lord of the Blue Waves. Lin Luoran rolls her eyes. In her previous life, she and Liao must be old enemies. Otherwise, why does she always want to beat him when she sees his arrogant look? I'm back. This time, I'm with you. With the help of Xiaoji, Lin Luoran cuts into the live broadcast of interstellar TV. She looks a little tired on the camera, but it can't hide the light in her eyes. She is very glad that, unlike more than 300 years ago, she has always been here this time. When the people are cheering, the Federation spaceship is even braver. We don't have the most advanced weapons. We don't have the enemy's endless forces. We are Earthlings who struggle to stand up from the colonial star, and are straightening up their backs. Look, the monsters in the Wuxia legend come out, and are fighting with humans. Look, the cultivators who can fly in the sky and the earth in the Wuxia legend come out, and are fighting with mortals. Look, the city of faith transcends natural science, and is indestructible under artillery fire. If gods and demons can jump out of the legend, why can't the Earth Federation defeat the Bape Alliance? The enemy is invading, and we are just trying to protect our home. We are the Earthlings who can't be defeated. Someone says the first sentence. The smooth words are so neat, as if someone has deliberately filled in the words in advance. Someone takes the lead to say a sentence, and the next sentence follows like a tide. The high-pitched and gorgeous war song makes the soldiers and civilians who are involved in the war feel the heat flowing in their blood. Windsor is very envious. It turns out that the Earth Federation will win this battle even without our support. The Bape Alliance is now in a mess because of Lin Luoran. As long as the Earth Federation wins with fewer people and the weak wins, all the belligerent voices in the Bape Alliance will have to shut up. Lin Luoran says sincerely, Windsor, you know what I like is your sincerity to come here in person. She used to only hope that the Nami royal family could support her from afar when she fell out with the Alpha Alliance one day. However, Judith comes first, and then Windsor personally leads a number of battleships across the galaxy. It is beyond Lin Luoran's expectation, but it makes her feel warm in her heart. Windsor laughs. We are friends, aren't we, Lin? Lin Luoran nods. During her stay in Nami, she not only found her old friend Baojia, but also met the Windsor siblings. It is also her fate. They are friends. Interests have been the bond of alliances since ancient times. However, only true friendship can make people abandon interests and choose to follow their hearts. In the gunfire, she suddenly hears the host cheering in the live broadcast of interstellar TV. We won. Did we win? Lin Luoran is in a trance. She looks into the distance and finds the only battleship of the Bape Alliance that has not been defeated is indeed signaling in the interstellar standard language. The Bape Alliance admits defeat. Lin Luoran feels that Buddhist music is playing in her ears. After hundreds of years of bumpy journey, she finally gets the peace at this moment. This feeling is very similar to hundreds of years ago. In order to purify the hostility in the blood pool, she knocked on the door of the secluded Buddhism sect. The little Buddhist monk in a monk's robe stands under the magnolia flower. The fragrance of the tree fills the tranquility of the Buddha. With the same state of mind, she suddenly understands why the breath of the little Buddhist monk Ji Xiao can be so infectious. Chapter 548. Fresh cherries are only 18 crystal coins per kilo. The price is so cheap. Don't be picky, little girl. On the busy street, a young woman with a ponytail buys 2 kilos of cherries under the persuasion of a peddler. She walks to Dongting Lake, gets on a boat and heads for a large painted pleasure boat in the middle of the lake. Today is the day of divine emergence set by the Federation. It is also the day when the ban on Dongting Lake is lifted once a year. The lake is very lively. The antique painted pleasure boat is rowing slowly. Many believers who go to Mount June to offer incense love this ancient water transportation. The breeze blows the bangs on the young woman's forehead, revealing her beautiful face. She jumps on a painted pleasure boat quickly. The 2-story painted pleasure boat is very lively. The cherries brought by the young woman are soon sold out. She grabs a few quickly. You should leave some for Aunt Lin. Young Lisha, who is feeding fish on the railing of the painted pleasure boat, is very happy. She is not short of fruits. Young Lisha is in a good mood with Voidy by her side. She is in a good mood. With her apple-shaped face, she looks more youthful. Other people agree with her. Lin Luoran's portable space produces all kinds of fruits and vegetables all year round. They are all delicious. All foodies are jealous of them. Han Weiya doesn't agree with the female monster. The point is not the fruit, but the intention. Hey, where are Aunt Lin and Hu Ji? Liao says sourly. When a girl grows up, she can't be kept at home. She went to Jinling with the smelly fox. Han Weiya understands. Since the Earth environment stabilized, Uncle Mu went to Jinling. It is said that he is looking for the chaos spirit pool to solve the problem of his half-monster and half-demon physique. 10 years have passed, but there is still no news. If Aunt Lin doesn't check every year to make sure that his breath has not disappeared in Jinling, everyone will be very worried. It is the turn of spring and summer in the 405th year of the new calendar. It is the season when cherries are just on the market. It has been almost 90 years since Bape Alliance declared defeat to the Earth Federation. And it is less than a year before the secret land of Bermuda opens. Han Weiya still looks like a young girl, but in fact, she has sent away the 2 most loved people in her life. Han Kueisheng died of old age. He had lived for a full 120 years. The Han family had expanded several times because of him. Because his only daughter had a wider sky, he had spent 10 years to choose a good-looking heir from the side branch of the Han family. Pang Xianzhong and his wife were deeply in love. Mrs. Pang died at the age of 81, 5 years after Pang Xianzhong stepped down as Sequence 1. After taking care of his wife's funeral, Pang Xianzhong closed his door and refused to see any visitors. In the autumn of the following year, he followed his wife and left. Mr. Pang, who pushed the post-war Earth Federation to a high-speed development track and was admired by the people, did not leave any children. In order to let him enjoy the sacrifice, the Federation buried the couple together in the cemetery by Dongting Lake according to Pang Xianzhong's last wish. Han Weiya once went to burn incense in the dead of night. She was glad that she didn't do anything back then. The couple, who had known each other for a long time, went through trials and tribulations together, and resisted the temptation when they were in power. Finally, they walked hand in hand to the end in the envy of everyone. Rong Shiha, who refused Lin Luoran's proposal, had an accident on an uninhabited planet when he was expanding the territory for Shuangmu. In the same year his little grandson was born. 8 years later, he was found to have the Taoist root. The descendants of Rong Donglin, who had been involved with the Lin family for hundreds of years, finally set foot on the road of personal ability enhancement. After the victory of the war, Judith and Shekinah stayed in Dongting City. Fortunately, after 5 years of hard work, the prince and the princess finally became a real husband and wife. In the 7th year, their first son was born. Queen Windsor, who was far away in Nami, was overjoyed. She made a great wish to raise her useless brother's son into a qualified royal heir. She also sent the royal fleet to pick up the family of 3 who had not returned home for a long time. The interstellar journey was long. When he left, the prince knew that he would never see his Earth friends again in this life. After becoming a father, the fat prince, who had lost a lot of weight, burst into tears. Shekinah hugged her son to comfort him. It was because Lin Luoran and others had a long life that ordinary people like her and Judith would still live in the memory of a group of people after hundreds of years. In the memory, she and he would not grow old. It was the best and most brilliant years of their lives. When Judith left, he looked at Han Weiya with some nostalgia. Princess Shekinah was very jealous, but she didn't get angry. I used to, Shekinah made a shushing gesture. I know it all. She knew that the prince was still young. She also knew that he was shocked by her action of staying on the earth, so he began to look at her seriously. She also knew that when he decided to formally pursue her, he stared at Han Weiya's window in a daze for half the night. Shekinah was still not sure whether he was really completely moved by her at that time, or he knew that Han Weiya had a true love in her heart. Because of the difference between immortals and mortals, he took the initiative to let his love go. But it didn't matter. Han Weiya was the first time that he was moved by her. She satisfied all his fantasies about the lover of his dream. And Shekinah. Bo Lan was the present and the future of the prince. After her death, she would be buried with Judith and given the long surname of the Nami royal family. She would stay with him in the picturesque Nami Royal Cemetery, quietly watching the passage of time and the changes of the world. His 1-year-old son burst into tears. Judith was in a hurry, diluting the sadness of separation. The defeat of Bape Alliance made the Earth Federation officially appear in the Galaxy Alliance. There were also some forces that wanted to harm the Earth Federation. However, after they had this idea, one after another supernatural events happened in the Star Territory. In addition, the Nami Alliance was far away, so they had to give up their idea. There was an invisible net, as sensitive as spider silk, everywhere, which could capture all their evil thoughts. Mu Tiannan's bloodline club was expanding wildly. He could immediately notice any trouble. Many supernatural events that frightened the evil forces were completed by him and Hu Ji together. His stubbornness and seriousness not only impressed Liao, but also Hu Ji gradually stopped being hostile to him. No matter how unreliable Mu Tiannan's background was, and how uncertain his future of personal ability enhancement was, Hu Ji had to admit that when a person was stubborn to another person to a certain extent, it was really touching. Putting himself in Mu Tiannan's shoes, Hu Ji felt that he couldn't do this to Linny at least. Liao might be able to do it, but Liao's starting point was not the love that only had a short shelf life in human beings' words. Mu Tiannan once thought that when he faced Black Tortoise again, under its deep eyes that could see through everything, he could at least tell her frankly that guarding her for 100 years without worries was not a random promise or a joke. It was the hard work of everyone that allowed the Earth Federation to survive the most fragile decade after the war. As the victors of the war, they had time to catch their breath and arm themselves to the teeth bit by bit. They had the power to protect themselves and were gradually becoming stronger and more prosperous. Someone took up the heavy burden. Lin Luoran spent all her time on the reconstruction of the Earth, except for personal ability enhancement. In the 405th year of the new calendar, Earthlings had driven mutant monsters to the no man's land, forming a clear boundary with the human world. Where there were human footprints, the scorched earth was covered with green little by little, and the water source was slowly purified. In the areas near human cities, ordinary people were no longer afraid of mutant monsters' attacks, and they didn't need to wear air purification devices. The smoke and dust covering the earth still existed. However, people living on the earth could already see the starry sky that was once recorded in the written records on a night with excellent weather. They had gone to the stars, but the night sky observed on the mother planet was still shocking even though it was not perfect. Above the earth, because earthlings did not give up repeatedly trying to restore green plants, the dead energy was partly eliminated, and the thin ozone layer had been restored. Lin Luoran was delighted by this slow change. In the 400th year of the new era, Lu Qingdai officially handed the position of oracle to the younger generation of the Lu family's faithful daughter. At that time, Lu Qingdai had silver hair, but her face was ruddy and wrinkle-free. It was a young face that was blessed by time. She knew that it was the power of faith. Lin Luoran had seen the young faithful daughter. She was full of vitality and was an enviable youth. In the 395 year of the new calendar, the secret land of Bermuda was about to open. Lin Luoran pulled Mu Tiannan out of the trifles and drove him to Jinling. Liao said that the spring in the underground palace of Jinling was the unique chaos spirit spring in the world. If Mu Tiannan missed it, it would be difficult for him to find another opportunity to solve the problem with his physique. Lin Luoran asked curiously, "What is chaos spirit spring?" At the beginning of chaos, there was no distinction between good and evil. Its ability was to shape. If you choose to be a devil, it will give you endless magic power. If you choose to be good, it will purify the evil thoughts in your heart. Whether it is a devil or a chi trainer, those with strong will can always be enlightened in the spring and find the way they want to go. Liao added mysteriously, "There is no such spirit spring in the spiritual world or the immortal world. It is a blessing left by Tao of nature in the mortal world." Lin Luoran thought of Xian Yuanping and herself. Xian Yuanping was paranoid, so she became a devil when the pool water was polluted. She didn't want to give up the persistence in her heart. When she was desperate, she ate her flesh and bones in the blood pool and laid foundation. Liao said that when she and Xian Yuanping entered the spirit spring, the spring water was polluted by hostility. It was easy for them to enlighten, but they didn't achieve much when they came out. However, after being purified by Buddhism and cultivating for so many years, Mu Tiannan entered the spirit spring again as a half-demon. Even Liao couldn't guess whether Mu Tiannan could come out smoothly. If Mu Tiannan didn't realize it himself, he would sleep in the pool for the rest of his life. His mind would be confused, and he would become a tragic existence that couldn't die or live. However, if he could get rid of everything, the half-demon who was not accepted by the world might have his own unique Tao. Could Mu Tiannan come out? No one could guarantee it. Lin Luoran went to see him every year, but she was disappointed in the first 9 years. In the past 100 years, her personal ability has gradually deepened. Although she deliberately slowed down her personal ability, she still reached the divinization period from the middle period of gathering vitality. Unexpectedly, Lin Luoran was worried that she would directly ascend to the spiritual world and miss the Lin family. However, the divinization doom she imagined didn't come for a long time. Without divinization doom, she only had personal ability, but she was not a real divinization cultivator. Liao's eyes were full of deep meaning. Lin Luoran only thought that she lacked earth in the 5 elements because the 5th petal between the eyebrows of her gathering vitality had not been filled. Baojia was second only to her. 100 years ago, she was in the middle period of bearing essence. 40 years ago, she successfully gathered gathering vitality. She made a lot of noise when she went through gathering vitality doom. Even the Dragon King seal in Dongting City was shaking. After gathering vitality, every step was difficult. In the past 40 years, Baojia was still trying to break through the middle period of gathering vitality. According to Bai Qingxue, Lin Luoran and Qin Baojia's personal ability enhancement speed was enough to be proud of in the Tang dynasty. The former White Fairy gave up personal ability enhancement and started her personal ability enhancement anew. Without any hindrance of her state of mind, she had cultivated from the middle period of training qi to the late period of bearing essence in more than 100 years. Lin Luoran thought to herself that she might really be able to reunite with Yi Zhao in the spiritual world as she wished with such a desperate state. As for Ma Shuangshuang and others, Lin Luoran insisted that they lay a solid foundation. Except for spirit stones, she did not allow them to take unnecessary elixirs. Ma Shuangshuang was still in the bearing essence period. Han Weya entered Tao as an alchemy apprentice. Her personal ability was second only to Ma Shuangshuang. Colin was tired of trivial things. He was even weaker than Ma Yiming. He was still wandering in the laying foundation period, looking for an opportunity to break through. Because of the gap in personal ability, Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya were still young girls. However, Colin and Ma Yiming had already become old. They only waited for the day when they succeeded in bearing essence period. At that time, they would return to their former elegant appearance. The one with the lowest personal ability was Rong Shiha's little grandson. He shouldered the expectations of several generations of the Rong family. His state of mind was a little heavy, and his personal ability enhancement was not very smooth. There was also something that made Lin Luoran happy. A few years ago, the prawn in the Dragon Palace finally became intelligent and could speak human language under Lin Luoran's support at all costs. Lin Luoran was really relieved when she wrote for it on the Golden Book of the Dragon King. She finally fulfilled the former Dragon King's entrustment and paid back the reason when she apatheticized herself. Bai Qingxue once returned to Misty Peak to take out the other half of the secret book. Lin Luoran did not ask what it was. As the time for the Bermuda secret land to open approached, Lin Luoran's attention was all on Jinling. There was only one chance for the Tower of Babel to restart. If Mu Tiannan was left behind, his only way out was to ascend to the spiritual world in the future. He was destined to miss the second-rate spiritual world that Lin Luoran and others went to. Moreover, no one could guarantee that Mu Tiannan, as a half-monster and half-demon, would definitely go to the spiritual world after breaking through. Outside Jinling, Hu Ji yawned lazily. His lazy temperament appeared on the beautiful young man. Instead of conflicting, it intensified his charming temperament. According to Liao, King Hu finally showed some vibe of a vixen in recent years. When he squinted his peach blossom eyes, people's hearts were beating fast. Lin Luoran felt that Hu Ji was a little effeminate. She was worried that King Hu would become neither a man nor a woman in the end. Hu Ji was so angry that he vomited blood. He wanted to beat Lin Luoran on the spot. The nine-tailed fox had the opportunity to choose whether it was a man or a woman when it transformed. He became a beautiful young man for Lin Luoran. He couldn't be so shameless as Lin Luoran. When it came to being neither a man nor a woman, the acacia tree monster was obviously more suitable. However, everyone praised that she looked like a famous scholar in men's clothes. They never questioned whether Voidy was psychologically healthy or not. Why was he always the one who got hurt? Hu Ji insisted that everyone was jealous of his youth. After 100 years he was still as young as before. Hey, if Mu Tiannan doesn't come out, will you stay and wait for him? Lin Luoran bowed her head and smiled. He won't want me to give up the restart of the Tower of Babel for him, so he will definitely come out. Hu Ji rolled his eyes. Linny kept her mouth shut. No one could guess what she was thinking about Mu Tiannan now. Lin Luoran just smiled. With Mu Tiannan's stubbornness, she didn't think that the Chaos Spirit Spring could trap him. Stubborn people sometimes couldn't get rid of the knot in their heart. However, Cyan Phoenix, immortal of the Penglai immortal world, said that it was because of stubbornness that cultivators could be firm and not retreat. Jinling City was also being rebuilt recently. Lin Luoran and Hu Ji stayed on the mountain outside the city. Lin Luoran quietly felt the pulse from the ground. From dawn to dusk, and then to dawn again. Lin Luoran and Hu Ji waited on the mountain for half a month. One night, on the surface of the spirit spring, an old locust tree that had been dead for many years suddenly sprouted. Lin Luoran finally smiled. Hu Ji was also moved. The greenwood crown he was wearing also keenly captured the vitality at that moment. The vitality was very weak with Monster Reiki, but there was absolutely no smell of blood. Did Mu Tiannan really succeed? The moon was in the middle of the sky. Mu Tiannan slept for 10 years. The first person he saw when he got out of the spirit spring is Lin Luoran, which made him indescribably happy. He was still dressed in black, and his left sleeve was still empty. He hadn't seen the sun for a long time. Mu Tiannan's face was white and jade-like. He walked slowly under the moon, which even overshadowed Hu Ji's brilliance. Hu Ji was a young man with an extremely outstanding appearance and temperament, which made people happy. Mu Tiannan was a calm young man. When he opened and closed his eyes, people couldn't see through him. However, he could make people feel at ease and trustworthy. Lin Luoran was in a trance. In the old days, he passed by her impatiently and accused her of stealing the ginseng seeds. He was an extremely unreasonable playboy, but he had become what he was today. If Master Mu knew him, he would definitely be very pleased. What is your state now? The hostility in his body disappeared, and the blood poison should have been dissolved. However, the pure monster power in his body was no less than that of Hu Ji. Mu Tiannan spread his hands. Maybe the Tao of nature is ready to test how far a human could go in monster cultivation. That's why I am in the state you see now. Cultivators train qi into their bodies, shaping their flesh and blood with Reiki, and adding it to their state of mind, in order to truly prove Tao. Mu Tiannan was tempted by the devil inside in the pool. The dark side he had experienced for hundreds of years wanted to tempt him into the devil. He felt that monsters might be more acceptable than devils. Mu Tiannan finally chose to dissolve his devil power. He had some enlightenment in the spirit spring. Qi trainers absorbed Reiki to evolve themselves. Monsters swallowed the moonlight and used the power of stars to refine their bodies. When monsters transformed into human beings, they could absorb Reiki. Didn't it mean that Reiki and the power of stars did not conflict? The two kinds were very likely to have the same origin, but their appearances were different. In this case, why couldn't human beings absorb the power of stars for evolution? When Mu Tiannan woke up, the inner bolus of the monster appeared in his body. The road he was going to take was to be the pioneer of monster cultivation. The road ahead was still uncertain, but there was always a glimmer of hope. Mu Tiannan thought very clearly in the spirit spring. Lin Luoran was successfully convinced and she had no objection. When the three of them returned to Dongting, everyone knew that the time for them to leave the earth was approaching. Before that, Lin Luoran needed to go to the Lost Land to get the earth of the 5 elements and the coordinates of the Lin family. Liao was a little worried that Black Tortoise would talk nonsense, so he insisted on going with Lin Luoran. Mu Tiannan thought of the hidden danger of the old bat, so he also wanted to go. Everyone was eager to have a try. Lin Luoran had a headache because of all the noise. She had to go to the Bermuda Sea area with Mu Tiannan and Liao under the moonlight. The opening of the secret land went smoothly. When the three of them reappeared, they were probably in the southwest of the Lost Land. Black Tortoise said that they had to rely on themselves to walk to the central area where it was. Liao hated the old tortoise's deliberately mystifying words. Lin Luoran was so worried that she wanted to block his mouth with something. With the current strength of the three of them, the big monsters didn't dare to fight against them when they were in a slump. The three of them had a very smooth journey. They had entered the secret land 3 times. This was the first time that they seemed to be here to enjoy the scenery. They picked spirit flowers and plants from time to time. One day, the three of them passed by the magnetic mountain. The battle between the old bat and the second primordial spirit had lasted for 100 years. Feeling the breath of the three of them, the 2 primordial spirits stopped fighting for the first time and commanded a group of blood bats to rush up. Lin Luoran couldn't figure out why the old bat hated her so much and wanted to kill her. Liao sneered and briefly talked about the grudge between the old bat and the man in robe. He made the blood bats unable to develop their intelligence again and cut off their way of personal ability enhancement. He also suppressed the old bat under the magnetic mountain and made it in a state of neither life nor death. It was so torturous. No wonder the bat monster became psychopathic and bit anyone it saw. Not to mention that you inherited the sacred pearl. The old bat naturally regarded you as a thorn in its flesh. Lin Luoran was not the only thorn in the old bat's flesh. It also hated Mu Tiannan very much. This despicable human sacrificed his life to survive, which made its hundreds of years of painstaking efforts to cultivate a stove go to waste. It hated him no less than Lin Luoran. When Liao spoke, the Black Shadow Venerable was awakened by the familiar voice. It exclaimed repeatedly, "It's you. It's you. I understand. Haha, it turns out to be so. I should have killed her as soon as we met." The monstrous hatred in its mouth made Lin Luoran shiver. "Uncle Liao, is it your old acquaintance? You know so much about the old things of the primitive world." Liao picked his ears and said with certainty, It mistook me for someone else. Lin Luoran was skeptical. She always felt that Liao's identity was about to be revealed. But Mu Tiannan diverted her attention. Let's go. If we kill it, it will be relieved. Liao quietly gave Mu Tiannan a thumbs up, and Mu Tiannan accepted it calmly. Yes, from the information that Hu Ji deliberately revealed from time to time, Mu Tiannan was gradually piecing together the truth of the mystery of Lin Luoran's identity, including the so-called covenant. All this information was indirectly revealed by Liao. Obviously, Liao was not on the side of the unattainable existence. Mu Tiannan admitted that he was greedy. He wanted to keep Lin Luoran instead of protecting her at the beginning. Since Liao was helping him, he also had to work hard. Lin Luoran's attention was diverted. Ignoring the crazy curse of the old bat, Lin Luoran and the other two arrived at the center of the Lost Land as scheduled. Black Tortoise opened its eyes lazily. Seeing the warning in Liao's eyes, it felt helpless. Why were some people always so stubborn? Although it had received a great favor from that person, the one it was most grateful to was always that silly girl. It had no conflict with Liao's position. It just hoped that silly girl could have a chance to choose her own life. You finally came. Black Tortoise nodded to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran felt that the scene in front of her was strangely familiar. Before she could think about it, Black Tortoise asked her again. Chapter 549. Is she willing to give up the convenient space that she has used for hundreds of years? After listening to Black Tortoise's words, Lin Luoran lowers her head and rubs the sacred pearl on her wrist. When she fell into the lowest point of her life, her studies were abandoned, her feelings were betrayed, her parents were unable to support her, and her rivals in love wanted to cut off her way of life. It was the sacred pearl space that opened another window for her life. She still remembers the 2 barren fields overgrown with grass when she first got the space. It was she who sorted out the grass bit by bit. She planted Polygonum multiflorum, ginseng, cabbage, peppers, herbs, vegetables, and fruit trees. She made the space a portable paradise. Every time her personal ability breaks through, the space grows with her. In the beginning, it was only 2 barren fields. When she broke through the late gathering vitality period, it had become a small world with high mountains, flowing water, beautiful grass, lush trees, fish jumping, and birds singing outside the tens of acres of medicine field. Is she willing to give it up? Of course she is. The sacred pearl space has indirectly witnessed how she walked step by step for hundreds of years. From a female cultivator who didn't even know how to breathe in the city, she grasped her own immortal fate and became a great cultivator who was no longer trapped in this world. Liao sighs. Lin Luoran is a sentimental person. She may be reluctant to give up even a blade of grass and a tree of the blessed place she cultivated by herself. What's more, there are 4 monsters living in it. She, Fire Phoenix, and Silverfish have been friends for hundreds of years. In Lin Luoran's mind, they are no worse than her family. Unexpectedly, Lin Luoran only keeps silent for a short moment and then smiles. The sacred pearl space is not mine. I am very lucky to get it. Now I want to use it on the right path. Of course, I am willing to give it up. Compared with senior cultivator, you want to give up your personal ability. The foundation of the space in me has not been shaken. It is too hypocritical and greedy. Black Tortoise nods. Personal ability enhancement should not rely too much on external things. Since you have made a choice, others can't say more. It quietly throws a warning look at Liao. Now that things have come to this, it signals him not to meddle. The natural spirit plant accompanying Black Tortoise is an ordinary brown bamboo joint. Lin Luoran is sad. Mu Tiannan puts his right hand in front of her eyes and says, "Don't look." Lin Luoran only feels that the grass and trees around her are falling down. She can hear the rumbling thunder. After a long time, the wind and clouds stop. When Mu Tiannan moves his hand away, the huge body of Black Tortoise has disappeared. The short brown bamboo joint released pure earth elemental energy. After the wind and rain, the first bamboo shoot appeared. A palm-sized tortoiseshell was left next to the bamboo. It had been washed clean by the rain and emitted an ancient and bitter aura. Liao frowns. The old turtle even assimilates his flesh and blood body. He really sees through it. Lin Luoran kneels on the ground regardless of the rain and the mud. She carefully digs out the bamboo joint along its roots. Black Tortoise's primordial spirit has been attached to the bamboo. Lin Luoran moves it to the space. The space changes and she cuts off the connection with the sacred pearl space again. Lin Luoran puts away the turtle shell as a memento. The three of them stand there for a long time, feeling that the threat of the jailer is no longer there. The monsters who have been imprisoned in the lost land for thousands of years celebrate. Liao snorts coldly. These idiots haven't become smarter after being imprisoned for so many years. In the past, Momo and Black Tortoise were soft-hearted. However, the man in robe never knew what soft-hearted was. Without Black Tortoise guarding them, if they try to escape from the lost land, they will violate the rules of this world. Their primordial spirits will be destroyed. Let's go. On the one hand, Liao is happy that Lin Luoran has gathered the 5 elements. She is finally going to get rid of the courage on her shoulders. On the other hand, he is worried about the covenant that will be fulfilled. Should he tell little Linny? Liao hesitates. Seeing that Lin Luoran is in a bad mood at this time, he finally swallows these words. He hopes that she can really choose her own life. If he adds fuel to the fire, won't he go against his original intention? Then let nature take its course. With a flash of white light, Lin Luoran and the other 2 disappear. They are really leaving. When Lin Luoran is allowed to enter the space again, and feels the endless cycle of the 5 elements, she knows that they are really leaving the earth. Everyone is a little depressed. However, they also know that the whereabouts of the Lin family is only one of the factors. The earth has been exhausted. It will not be suitable for personal ability enhancement for a long time in the future. Even if the wound can be repaired by time, it can't be disobeyed after all. It goes to another civilization. The brand new Dongting city overlaps with the childhood memories of the siblings of the Ma family, but there are also many differences. They grew up in the slums. In Ma Yiming's memory, when he was young, he took his sister to hide from place to place. Those years were very gloomy. He thought that when he left, he would only be reluctant to leave the warm villa of the Ma family. However, in his distant memory, Ma Shuangshuang was on his back. The dark alley where they hid together was plated with soft colors at this time. Colin takes some time to return to Caesar Star. Although the Weir family has moved to the earth and gained a foothold on the earth, the extravagant and drunken old things in Colin's memory happened on the defeated Caesar Star. He is a Caesarian with double pupils. When he came to the earth to hunt for novelty, he never thought that he would be saved by Lin Luoran. He doesn't know what to do and he actually gets a unique lucky chance. He is Colin Weir. No matter on the earth or in an unknown destination, no one in the Weir family can imagine that he, a former waste, has become the highest and farthest person. Han Weiya's father died of old age. Her sweetheart didn't care about power. She was a legend when she was alive and left a good reputation after her death. After sweeping the graves of Han Kueisheng and Mr. Pang, Han Weiya is the most regretless person. Bai Qingxue has been to Misty Peak, Mount Everest covered with white snow. There used to be a group of female cultivators drinking the purest snow water in the world. They talked about Tao and personal ability enhancement all day long. They were not contaminated by the dark side of the personal ability enhancement world. What a happy and worry-free life it was. Now the world has changed. Misty Peak is still there, but the laughing schoolmates are no longer there. Bai Qingxue secretly clenches her fists. Will she meet a female cultivator in elegant clothes in the unknown place where she is going and call her first school sister? Then she shakes her head. Even if there are still descendants of Misty Peak, it has been more than 1,000 years. Those who have not cultivated should have ascended long ago. Those whose personal ability is not high enough have exhausted their lifespan and turned into bones. Lin Luoran is also reluctant to leave the center of Chuan province, which is being rebuilt. She doesn't go to the former site of the Lin family on Wensi Street or Qingqing Villa. Instead, she goes back to the misty rain town of her youth. The reconstruction has not expanded here, so she can't find Li's village. Lin Luoran points to a pile of rubble ruins that can't be seen clearly. She asks Baojia beside her, "Is this our school?" Qin Baojia glances at it. You have a good memory. Except for making friends with Lin Luoran, Baojia, who comes from the capital, obviously doesn't care much about the misty rain town in the countryside. Lin Luoran points in another direction. There used to be an alley. Baojia, you were so handsome when you appeared on a man's motorcycle. Baojia raises her eyes. If I didn't stop the motorcycle, how could I meet you? I really regret it. Lin Luoran laughs. When she was young, she was timid and cowardly, but she was stubborn inside. The delinquent girl who saved her in the capital once handed her a cup of steaming Yonghe soybean milk. The sweetness of that cheap cup made her remember it for many years. Even though she had been drinking Reiki juice for hundreds of years, she still couldn't forget it. Baojia, do you regret cultivating? Lin Luoran suddenly asks after they laugh for a while. After so many years, people have changed. Everyone's life has changed more or less because of her. When Baojia regains her memory, Lin Luoran wants to ask this question, but she is too guilty to say it. Baojia shakes her head without thinking. What's wrong with cultivation? I am not a fragile sister. Although I lost 100 years of time, look at how much I have gained. The gathering vitality period. Commander Qin can't imagine that I can become a gathering vitality cultivator one day. Do you have the heart to see me become an old woman, and have to look at you as beautiful as a flower when I am old? Who is she? Qin Baojia, who dominates the circle of high-level officials in the capital. No one who fought with her in the past can live longer than her. She will never lose. Qin Baojia. Looking down on Lin Luoran's sympathetic eyes, Baojia pouts. You are not the only one who has a family. I have an ancestor and the descendants of Lu Sanchun who were adopted by the Qin family. Hey Linny, why do I feel that the burden on my shoulders is not small? Seeing her in high spirits, Lin Luoran raises her hands to surrender. I was wrong. I shouldn't have aroused the big sister feelings buried in your heart. Baojia laughs, and there is no trace of gloom on her face. What she exudes is always the diamond brilliance that can sweep away the dark side and warm people's hearts. Lin Luoran feels that after the chaos of Bape and 100 years of reconstruction, the arrogant Miss Qin really comes back. Baojia, it's so nice that you can come back. There are a lot of people who want to leave together. Mu Tiannan, Baojia, Liao, the siblings of the Ma family, Colin, Han Weiya, Rong Sini, Bai Qingxue, Yang Lisha, and Unscented, as well as Hu Ji who refuses to take over the Green Mountains world. King who does what he says. The Green Mountains world completely belongs to the monsters who participate in the war. The world is vast. As long as they don't appear in the world of ordinary people, Hu Ji doesn't mind being the king. Speaking of which, he is very dissatisfied with the former Fox King who abandoned him on the earth. He has suffered so much in the underground world. He must catch up with him and ask those nine-tailed foxes who only care about giving birth but not raising them. Are there any parents like him? Xiaoji is in a dilemma for Lin Luoran. As an artificial intelligence with independent personality, she doesn't want to leave Xiaoji behind. But if Xiaoji is trapped in a puppet or robot, will it really be happy? It is more suitable for the boundless interstellar network, which can let it come and go freely and wander freely. Will you come back? Xiaoji's childish voice is still the same, but Lin Luoran knows that it has matured a lot. It is no longer the childish mind that can be coaxed with a few words when they first met. Will you come back? Even Lin Luoran doesn't know the answer to this question. On the contrary, Liao is very sure. It may take a long time. However, when the seed of cultivation recovers naturally, or when Linny's personal ability reaches that level, the Tower of Babel will open from the other end. Those who have left can come back. Xiaoji smiles. That's all right. I won't get old or die. No matter how many thousands of years it takes for you to come back, I will still be here. Lin Luoran is a little sad. The implication is that Xiaoji is going to stay. Xiaoji gets into the body of a robot and hugs Lin Luoran clumsily. Lin Luoran's eyes turn red. The two concubines on Mount June Island will also not leave. They are originally clay-painted sculptures. They have consciousness and become spirits of Yin, because they are worshipped by incense. They have no real body to rely on. After leaving Mount June, They really become rootless duckweed. Spirits of Een can't pass through the Tower of Babel. The two concubines don't feel sorry. After leaving the temple of the two concubines, who are they and who will remember them? Mortal Heart Fairy, please say hello to Taoist Jiang on behalf of us. Lin Luoren nods solemnly. Young Lisha secretly thinks that the crazy Jiangshang is really not a good Taoist. He hasn't learned anything else, but he has caused a lot of romantic debts. Lu Qingdai is about to reach the last days of her life. When Lin Luoren goes to see her, she is teaching the newly chosen maid of Lu Jiesin to draw fairy pictures. Every stroke is full of piety. Qingdai, I'm leaving this world. Lu Qingdai is dressed as meticulously as when they first met. Fairy, faith has nothing to do with where you are. The young maid secretly looks at the oracle, who can talk with Lin Luoren freely. Her restrained expression can't hide her excitement. That is the oracle who is personally given the holy spell by Mortal Heart Fairy. After that, the maids probably won't have such an honor. Lin Luoren seems to notice her thoughts. She suddenly turns her head and smiles. Qingdai is right. As long as the painted sculptures on Mount June Island exist, I will be there. You offer your faith, and I will bless you with holy spell. It's not that she doesn't want to leave the Taoist field on the earth. It's just that after leaving, the only thing that can be related to the earth is the power of faith that even the world can't isolate. The young maid blushes and then nods solemnly. The old site of the Tower of Babel. Yellow sand is rolling. A group of people can't even open their eyes because of the strong wind. Black Tortoise asks in space if Lin Luoren is ready. Lin Luoren is reluctant to leave. The Fire Phoenix smiles a little fake. Silly girl, we are free again. Lin Luoren glares at it, and turns her head to ask Liao. Uncle Liao, do you think we really have a chance to come back? Liao laughs, of course. He says and takes out a sack from his arms. He mysteriously takes out a lot of ancient books. Breathing, figure drawing, magic circle setting, refining weapons, elixirs. The surface of the books is covered with a layer of white light, making them as new as before. Who says that we can't help the earth with the recovery of cultivation civilization? He has been a fire Taoist for so many years to collect these ancient books. Bai Qingxue can't figure out where Liao gets the breathing formula of Misty Peak, which has always only female cultivators. Lin Luoren is stunned. Everyone wants to kneel to Liao sincerely. Liao waves his sleeves. The ancient books at his feet turn into white light and fly away. They scatter all over the earth. Most of them are thrown to the bottom of Dongting Lake and handed over to the new General Shrimp. In Liao's evil laughter, Fire Phoenix also remembers the good things it once blackmailed. Lin Luoren found the black lotus seed in the corner of the Dragon Palace. Don't underestimate it. It's a lotus seed that grows in the Chaos Spirit Spring. Many ancient books of someone can't even compare to this black lotus seed. Maybe the chance of the recovery of cultivation civilization on the earth lies in this lotus seed that can help people understand Tao. Fire Phoenix doesn't say anything. Lin Luoren once practiced in the Dragon Palace. Her nameless breathing technique was skillful but edgeless, but it was all overheard by the black lotus seed. Who can predict what will happen in the future? Lin Luoren takes the lotus seed and throws it in the direction of Dongting Lake. The lotus seed falls into the water and sinks quietly on the lake bed, waiting for someone who meets it to take root, sprout, and bloom again. Do you have any regrets? Lin Luoren looks at everyone. Whether they are men or women, cultivators or monsters, their eyes are full of determination. Let's get started. Let's get started. Lin Luoren has already transferred some important items to the universe ring given by Liao. All the medicinal materials in the spirit field have been harvested. She feels a little pity that the Tao book on the second floor of the cabin is firmly stuck on the desk, and she can't take it away. For the first time, the sacred bead voluntarily disconnects from the silver thread on her wrist and floats in the air. Colorful brilliance overflows from it, and people can't look at it directly. The pure essence of the 5 elements wraps the sacred bead. Feeling the gathering of the 5 elements, a half-illusory and half-real Tower of Babel appears over the desert. It finally condenses into a towering stone tower, whose top can't be seen. The gate of the stone tower opens slowly. For the first time, Lin Luoran sees the fire phoenix with the flame tree, the silver fish with the ice grass, the wood wolf with the green light flower, the gold hawk with its golden kumquat, and the black tortoise with the brown bamboo in its mouth. Gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The 5 monsters take their natal spirit seeds and go in different directions. Fire Phoenix looks at Lin Luoran with the most reluctant eyes. Wood Wolf yells and asks Lin Luoran to avenge it if she meets monsters who plot against it in the future. Lin Luoran agrees with tears in her eyes. The 4 monsters fly away and fill the 4 elements of gold, wood, water, and fire on the earth. Black Tortoise finally disappears under everyone's feet. It is the ubiquitous earth in the 5 elements. After the 5 monsters leave with the essence of the 5 elements, the dull sacred bead falls down powerlessly. Lin Luoran catches it gently. Sure enough, she can't enter the space anymore. Inside the sacred bead is a hazy white mist. Don't be sad. When the 5 elements are really rebuilt, they will all have merits and no heaven's doom will disturb them. Then they can be really worry-free. Lin Luoran nods. Black Tortoise also said this. Liao is not lying. Mu Tiannan hands her a handkerchief. Lin Luoran blinks back her tears. Let's go in. The Tower of Babel has not changed much. The top of the dome is full of stars. Lin Luoran takes out the jade stairs. The star atlas on the dome and the star atlas on the back of the stairs are shining. Lin Luoran tries to identify the star atlas on the dome according to the coordinates given by Black Tortoise. She doesn't show a satisfied smile until she confirms a light spot. She points her finger at the light spot. A white light shoots down and is guided by her to the back of the second step of the jade stairs. The white light goes in and tries to search in the star atlas behind the second step. The stars on the dome emit a hazy light. The stairs flash and fly out of Lin Luoran's palm. They begin to enlarge infinitely. The dome of the Tower of Babel opens on both sides. The jade stairs go into the depths of the stars. The clouds are so thick that they can't see the end. Let's go. Don't stop. Liao leads everyone up gradually. The end of the star-surrounded stairs is the destination they are going to reach. Uji touches his nose. The fake saintess wanted to take him away in those days. He still has to walk on the jade stairs after so many twists and turns. Mu Tiannan waits at the end and steps up the stairs with Lin Luoran. The cold jade stairs are under their feet. In the old days, he really never thought that one day he could set foot on this road to heaven with her. Lin Luoran doesn't know what is at the end of the stairs, nor does Mu Tiannan. He is just very glad that he can accompany her to this step. The hazy starlight engulfs Lin Luoran, who is walking at the end. Devout believers have a feeling that the mortal heart fairy they trust has gone to a world more suitable for cultivators. If you can hear me, please listen to me say thank you. Thank you for your lovely stubbornness. You didn't give up this blue star. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.